fighters considered among the best in the world. Two warriors who have climbed to the top of their division multiple times. Two men looking to achieve glory one more time. The first meeting between Michael Chandler and Benson Henderson was an epic battle.
And a fight for legacy becomes an instant classic.
I'd love to run it back with Benson Henderson, put the paint on him next time.
Tonight, we do just that. It's Chandler Henderson 2, live and free on Paramount Network. Welcome back inside our home, away from home, the beautiful Mohegan Sun Arena. 2 weeks ago, it was Sergio Pettis victorious in our main event of the evening, and our main event later tonight, live on Paramount Network, is the rematch between these two men, two of the best lightweights in the history of mixed martial arts, Michael Chandler and Benson Henderson. Also on the card, as I'm joined, of course, by my partners, Big John McCarthy and Josh Thompson. Big John, the heavyweight battle, Matt Mitrione and Tim Johnson.
And you're talking about a matchup here. Tim Johnson coming off a huge win against Tyrell Fortune. Matt Mitrione trying to get back into that status to get that heavyweight title shot.
And Josh, how about Miles Fury Jury and Georgie Karhanian?
Miles Jury is a technician. He's just got to stay the pace, stay right in front of Karhanian. And if he can do that, I think he'll just pick him apart. But Karhanian's got to make it a dirty fight, grimy, press him against the fence, be a dirty, dirty fight for 3 rounds, and he potentially get the win. I'm excited to see this.
And Saba and Curtis will get us started. That is later tonight, live on Paramount Network. Darton Rosta, Hercules 2-0 inside the Bellator cage, welcoming Mark Gardner to Bellator MMA.
We have seen Dalton Rosta in the cage, and this guy is a beast. You're talking about a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a collegiate wrestling background, and he's been a Golden Glove boxer. This guy's got it all.
Excited to be back here at just 24 years old with the opportunity to move to 3-0. Both of his victories inside the Bellator cage have come by knockout. Our tale of the tape for this, our first fight of the night. The 24-year-old against the 21-year-old. Everything else is virtually identical. To get us underway here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena, here's the voice, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Bellator 243 Prelims tonight live from Mohegan Sun Arena. We welcome those joining us around the world on Bellator's YouTube channel as we kick off the action now with 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing the blue corner first. At 6'1", weighing in 184.8 pounds. His professional record, 1-1. He fights out of Portland, Maine. Presenting Mark Pockets Gardner. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 6 foot, weighing in 185.7 pounds, undefeated early on. He stands tonight at 2-0. He fights out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Dalton Hercules Rosta. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge, Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran, our referee, as we get started at 185 pounds. Gardner and Rosta fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Hell, let's go!
Here we go! Rosta in the red gloves, blue gloves for Mark Gardner, making his Bellator debut. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Geico. Dalton Rosta, a combined 9-0 with 9 knockouts in the sport of mixed martial arts.
Veins.
Dalton Rosta has all the skill sets needed to be an outstanding mixed martial artist. You can see that's a beautiful uppercut right there.
Angle, uppercut.
Gardner needs to get this fight to the ground for him to have the ability to stay with Rosta. That's where his skill set is best.
Look for your elbows.
Underhook with your right hand.
Cross face, flatten them out if you want. Come back up, come back
Mark
up, come
Gardner
back up.
and Dalton Rosta
All the way up, head
meeting
up.
here tonight.
Kick inside,
Gardner's
control.
professional
Head over his
win
head, come straight up.
came by knockout as well.
Gardner going for that armbar, Josh.
Go, pockets.
Yeah, that's on tight too. He's got the leg over the back of the head. He's hammer fisting here. He should actually just keep his hands locked, trying to keep that pressure on him. I'm not big on hammer fisting from this position because your arm is available at all times.
You're absolutely right, and it takes just a movement to get you off balance, which is going to tighten that armbar.
Take your time.
That is deep still. What you got to see out of Gardner is he's got to engage the hips. Wasn't able to do it.
Up and out, up and out.
Nice with Rosta putting the knee in the middle here. What you guys got to understand is that's what's keeping the submissions away is when that knee is up in the middle. Now he lost the position. Now Gardner can start attacking the submissions again.
You heard the corner of Rosta saying, take your time, be patient, work your way out of it. Now he's in the full guard, trying to work the body of his opponent.
I feel like this is more of a game plan issue because I felt like Rosta was having good success on the feet in the beginning. While you're dry, he should have kept this fight on the feet because he was landing such clean punches from there.
When he unleashes, he's going to look for that underhook.
When we asked Mark Gardner what his greatest strength was coming into his Bellator debut, just 21 years old, he did say it's his jiu-jitsu.
Good punches, good punches, good punches.
Saw him looking for the quick finish early.
Come out, come out, come all the way out.
Rosta's just physically strong. Looks like he's built like a Greek god, John.
Almost like a Hercules, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like a Josh Thompson, but whatever.
Oh, my God. You know, you take a look, and you can see right away.
Again.
Gardner's starting to have problems. Look where his hands are starting to be, and he's starting to slow down just from what's occurred so far in the fight. That uppercut that he got hit with that ended up putting him down at the beginning of the fight, it had a big effect on him.
Work your range.
If Gardner was smart here, he'd keep that long range punching and kicking, that type of stuff to keep Rosta at bay.
Halfway.
But you know Rosta's about to explode to get in and close that distance.
Leg kicks there, leg kicks there.
Dalton Rosta's head coach.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, yes.
Oh, big shots.
Back out, back out, back
Isaac
out, back
Curley, a
out.
black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's a big left that connects.
These shots, when you're getting hit by shots that you don't see coming, that's when you get knocked out.
Good knee cut, knee
Mark
cut.
Gardner, he's got to get out of the habit of ducking his head to the point where his eyes are leaving that fighter that is attacking him. It's not going to do you any good. You've got to work your way out of that.
What Gardner needs to do here is go to his knees and start trying to drive up on a single leg.
Drive forward.
But he's got to start by getting his head up. That's the problem. But then Rosta keeps hitting him with the nice shots. He's putting his head back down to cover.
He's got to work, he's got to work.
There you go.
24 years old, 2-0 as a professional, after going 7-0 with 7 knockouts as an amateur, fighting out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
I like how he's changed the game plan, Rosta. Right now is what he's doing is trying to stop the takedown, trying to stay up on his feet because he knows he's landing clean shots on the feet. No reason to go to the ground. He's dominating the stand-up. He's having good success on the top position as well, but there's no reason for him to go to the ground while the submission threat is still there and fresh.
Yes. Pressure. Pressure.
Elbow inside, pockets, left elbow in.
Wrestled at Seton Hall, graduated from Youngstown State. Now he's looking for it.
Looking for the Americana.
Use your knee as a lever. Put your knee in his head.
He hasn't, but he needs to control the body. And anytime you have that Americana, you've got to keep that arm in between that space where the head's at. You've got to isolate the head.
Well, the way you do that is by keeping your chest pressure over your opponent so he can't move his back sideways. You want to make sure his back stays flat to the ground so he's not turning the angle left to right.
Okay, there it is.
Dalton Rosta showcasing his power here in the first round. 20 seconds on the clock.
Almost hit that peak out to get to
He
the
almost
back.
got the duck under looking through it.
Didn't have
Just
the
got
energy.
stuffed.
Yeah, didn't have the energy for it. There you go. He's got to go to his knees now, so he's got to hit the skate belly down.
10 seconds.
Those are big shots he's taking, John.
Heavy shots, all damaging, and you're starting to see the effects.
John, let me ask you, 10-8?
Tell me about when you're looking at a round, Josh, it's always about how much damage was done. How much damage did we see? We saw him actually go down from that uppercut, and then we saw another instance where he got hit with shots and he's diving for the takedown. This is what we would look at as a 10-8 round.
I don't know if I believe him, Goldie. What do you think?
I was thinking, you know, with all these shots and everything he landed, the damage he did, I'm going 10-8.
You know, I believe Goldie.
You do?
Yeah, for some reason.
I would believe him over me too. Beautiful takedown. Moves into mount. All of this just dominant performance in the first round. And when we're looking for that 10-8 round, we're not only looking for damage, we're looking for dominance. Look at the damage. It's right there on his face. And we definitely had domination.
It's a scratch.
Suck it out, suck it out!
Catch up on past fights 24/7 now on our new Pluto TV channel. Available on your favorite devices. Look for us in the sports category. We are all over the universe.
Time!
Awesome.
See what I did there? Pluto channel.
That's pretty nice.
Thank you.
But it's no longer a planet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
I'm a little upset. We should bring it back.
No good? Okay. You understand? Okay, cool.
It's over. Fight is over. Dalton Rosta, winner by TKO.
John.
You can see the cut over the eye. It's not so much you can see as it's moving. When he puts the Vaseline, you're seeing the cut move. The problem is the cut is on that eyebrow when when he's actually putting pressure on it, it starts to hang down. And so what the doctor is worried about is it only takes one shot from Dalton Rosta to tear that into the eyelid. And I believe after watching what occurred in the first round, the doctor felt that that was possibly going to occur. And that's why he decided it's too much. I'm going to have the referee.
Does that jaggedness play effect?
Absolutely. Anytime you've got a clean cut, the doctors are going to allow it to go. When you start to have a jagged cut that has edges to it, going separate directions, almost gets into that navel orange look, they're always going to be quicker to stop the fight.
Yeah, I spent a lot of years fighting, but the thing is that, like we've talked about this before, John, is that we don't know what you guys are looking at realistically when it comes down to fighters. We're just like, oh, it's a little tiny.
I'm good.
I'll be good. But that's not what the reality is. The reality is the doctors and the refs are looking for the safety of the fighter.
Yeah.
And anything above the eye is always of the ultimate concern.
Well, it's a concern based
yeah.
upon vision because
Correct,
blood's
exactly.
going to possibly start to get into the eye.
All right, to make it official, here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, upon the advice of the cage-side physician, referee Michael Beltran waves off the contest due to the cut. Official time, 5 minutes. Round number 1, the winner by TKO, still undefeated, Dalton Hercules Rosta.
Dalton Rosta 3-0, all 3 victories inside the Bellator cage. An impressive start for the native of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. All right, let's check in with our guys at the desk, Jay Glazer and the American Gangster, J.O.P. Sonny.
All right, thank you, Gold. Hey, it's been 2 weeks since I've seen you last, and I like the Potsy from Happy Days haircut.
I appreciate that part right down the side.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Blaze. Great to see you, pal.
Hey, a guy like me, he knows hair. All right, one thing we also know is Michael Chandler and Benson Henderson, when these two guys get in the cage, there's fireworks. Last time they fought, somewhat of a controversial decision that went to Michael Chandler. We'll start with Benson Henderson. What can he learn from that last fight he could do tonight?
Jay, I will tell you this. There is a narrative going around that Benson Henderson is a slow starter. Now, I kind of disagree with that. I see him as a guy who comes on later in the fight. This is a 3-round contest. Now, that is significantly different than what they saw the first time. In fact, it's the only difference. But what Chandler did in the first fight, well, Jay, it was largely the double cross. He's a 2-time All-American wrestler. He loves the ground and pound. He came up and started swinging very heavy against Benson. Look, it surprised me as a viewer. I have to trust it surprised Benson as his opponent. He's not going to have that element. I'm talking about Chandler. He's not going to have the element of surprise this time. Benson knows what to expect. If he can gain a little more momentum, a little bit more early, look, we could have a different outcome.
Because everyone's talking so much about Benson being a slow starter. This is only 3 rounds.
Henderson has not been finished in nearly 6 years, but Michael Chandler has put together some numbers that rival the best in Bellator history. A win tonight will tie him with Patricio Pitbull with 18 overall. And as far as finishes, Michael Chandler has more Big John than anyone in Bellator history.
Look, Michael Chandler has been an outstanding fighter here in Bellator. He's been the lightweight champion 3 times, Mike, and there's a reason behind it. He is a fast twitch, explosive fighter who's got great wrestling, big power in his hands, and he has never been submitted, even though, Josh, he has been put in some very deep submission attempts.
Yeah, I almost feel like it's a waste of time to try to submit him. He just finds a way out at all costs. Last time he had fought Benson Henderson, Benson had his back with a rear naked choke fully in, and he was able to escape the risk, spin and get out of it, get on top, and land some serious damage. He's just one of those durable fighters that will continue to keep coming. He does tend to not set a good pace. He sets it too fast for his own good. That's the fighter in him. So I'm excited to see how this goes in a 3-round fight.
Yep.
One thing is for sure, these are 2 of the best lightweights in MMA history. Our main event later tonight. Speaking of fighters at 155, our tail of the tape for our second preliminary matchup. The baby-faced assassin from Hawaii, Nainoa Dung, 21 years old. Charlie Campbell, John, 4 years his elder.
25 and 21, both young fighters with bright futures.
Michael C. Williams.
Tonight here at the Mohegan Sun Arena, the Bellator 243 prelims roll on now with 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first the blue corner at 6 foot, weighing in 155.8 pounds. His professional record: 1 win, 1 loss. He fights out of East Rockaway, Long Island, New York, presenting Charlie the Cannibal Campbell. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 6 foot 1, weighing in 155.1 pounds as a professional. 3 victories, 1 defeat, fighting out of Makaha, Hawaii, presenting Nainoa, the babyface assassin, Dung. In charge, your referee, Dan Mergliata.
Dan Mergliata, our referee. Nainoa Dung spent his entire camp in Hawaii. Charlie Campbell, you see him there, from Long Island, making his Bellator debut, part of the Sarah Longo fight team.
Ready, sir? Let's go fight, gentlemen.
Here we go. Red gloves for Nainoa Dung. Charlie Campbell in the blue gloves, making his Bellator debut. Our fight clock brought to you by Geico. Dung had the backyard battle in Hawaii back in December of 2018 against Kona Oliveira. Victorious in that one after a very tough first round, then overcame a 2-point deduction for his second victory. A setback the last time we saw him. Campbell looking for a victory here as he enters the Bellator cage for the first time.
And when you talk about that setback was to Zach Zane, who is the #1 ranked lightweight fighter in Hawaii. And at the end of that fight, Nainoa Dung was doing very well, and he learned a lot from that fight, and that's what we talk about. Sometimes you don't lose because you learn so much, it's just going to improve you as a fighter, and I think that's what you're going to see out of Nainoa Dung from that loss.
What you see between these 2 fighters right here, Campbell and Dung, is Campbell is someone who will leave himself out of position after he strikes. Where Nainoa is a very technical striker. He will stay in his top position. He will try to keep this fight on the feet the best he can with technique. You see how tight his punches are. A lot different than what Campbell's doing.
Not only is watch his footwork when he enters, when he comes in to punch. Watch the sliding of his feet. Watch the balance that is in those feet. Oh, that got hit low. But you look at the balance that he has. That's what creates power.
My bad.
Take a look at the knee come up, right at the top of the cup, at the waistline. It can touch the top of the cup and make that blow actually affect you. It's close. All Charlie has to do is get it up another 2 inches, and he's going to be good. That's going to be an effective blow.
Yeah, people don't realize that it will skim the tip of the cup and then go right into the gut. So it did look like it skimmed it a tiny bit.
What happens when it skims the cup raises, because normally it's
All right, time, get ready.
It's tied in
Let's
there,
go, fight.
and that cup raises into you, which does not feel good.
Very descriptive. Let's move forward.
Let's move forward.
Yes, please.
Yeah, enough about
Good counter there by Charlie Campbell. Former world champion Matt Serra, one of his coaches, Ray Longo, Pete Sell, Aljamain Sterling.
Just like Josh is talking about, you watched Charlie throw that right hand, and you saw how off balance he ended up by that swing. Too heavy, and that low calf kick, Josh, is really starting to take effect on him.
I'm a huge fan of those calf kicks. It's really changed the sport of MMA, and just you've seen it all across all platforms of how fighters are utilizing that now, and Campbell using it back now on Dung. It's a smart game plan. When someone starts kicking you with something and it's having an effect, throw it back at them, and they realize, okay, look, if I stop, maybe they'll stop throwing. And it's kind of true. It's happening a couple times. I see fighters do it all the time.
And I know Dung for that Zach Zane fight, John, spent his entire time in preparation in South Florida at Sanford MMA, led, of course, by none other than the fine coach Henry Hoof. With everything going on with the pandemic for this fight, he stayed in Hawaii, but Henry is here and in his corner tonight.
Very nice takedown by Charlie Campbell. One of the things that we know about Charlie Campbell is he is relentless, and he just keeps coming. And sometimes it's a little crazy in the way he does it, a little bit leaving himself open, but right now it's being effective for him.
What Nainona has from the bottom, though, is a very good hook sweep, and he does a very good job of hitting that X-guard sweep as well. So we saw that with Zach Zane. He was able to hook sweep him a couple times right to the top position and at least get back to his feet.
Multiple times, you're absolutely right. Zach Zane had no answer for that sweep in the third round.
Anticipate the explosion.
Great job done by Charlie Campbell.
Far side underhook.
Had the full mount for just a moment, but top position here and time to work on young Nainoa Dung.
When you talk about output, this is what Charlie Campbell is bringing. He's bringing a super high pace, a lot of activity, a lot of attempts to do damage with big elbow shots, sometimes big punches. But when you're trying to hit somebody hard, you're giving space, and that is the moment that Nainona Dung should use that space to try to get himself back to his feet.
So how all this got set up was Campbell got Nainona Dung striking and getting comfortable on the feet, and then he was able to press him to the fence and get the takedown. Now with Nainona, what he needs to do is he needs to work on getting to a good position where he's not taking damage. Control the wrist control like you just saw there and standing back to his feet. Once you lose the wrist control, it's easy to get set back down, just like he did right there.
Oh, nice job roll through by Charlie. What we're seeing is on the feet, Nainona Dung is having the advantage, but when it hits the ground, Charlie Campbell's doing his work, and he's going to win this round by continuing with that high pace.
What Charlie's doing here is he's feeding Nainona's hands up to the side. So now he's got top position, and he can't defend the strikes. The issue you're going to run in with Nainona is he's doing one big explosive movement, and then he stops. He's got to chain them together. So he's got to explode to a side position, and then he's got to turn to his knees and try to come up on a single or go to a double leg.
Good start from Charlie Campbell.
You're going to see here some of the kicks that both fighters were using. Nainona with that calf kick. I'm telling you guys right now, you will see that a lot tonight and the effectiveness of it. And here we go with a nice little kick to the body, to Campbell's body. Just missed that block. Campbell, very nice with the takedown, but this was all led up to the fact that he had gotten Nainona comfortable on the feet and was able to press him to the fence and get the takedown, which led into this, which is nice ground and pound. So John, talk us through this right here. He has the hand on the neck. That's not illegal. What that is holding position there. He's able to land the good ground.
Absolutely. When you're talking about that's not grabbing the trachea, that's bracing himself out. He's not squeezing in on it. It's totally legal.
Okay, seconds out, gentlemen.
We like legal. Yes, we do.
Sorry, guys.
Charlie Campbell, 5-0 with 5 finishes as an amateur. 4 knockouts, 1 submission. 3 of those coming in the first round.
Let's go, gentlemen, round 2. Let's go.
So both men have had a lot of success Amateur record for Dung, also 5-0. Round number 2, Nainoa Dung in the red gloves, Charlie Campbell switching his stance again in the blue gloves. John, round 1 to Charlie Campbell?
No doubt about it. Charlie Campbell gets that round. He did the better work, especially by taking the fight to the ground. That's a 10-9 round for Charlie Campbell.
Both of them are just exchanging 1-1 on the feet. I'd like to see Nainoa put a combination together and finish with a leg kick, or start with a leg kick and finish with the hands. Because right now all you're seeing is 1-1 or 1-2, and they're both better than that.
Well, sometimes it's tough when you got a guy that's kind of crazy wild the way that he approaches his attacks. And Charlie Campbell, all of a sudden, he's coming in lunging with elbows and throwing things a little bit off balance. Nainoa Dung has got to figure out that range, just like you just saw right there. That's what you're talking about. That wasn't just a 1, it was a 1-2, and it was the second one that hit.
What I like about Nainoa Dung the most is, for a young fighter, notice how his hands are loyal to his chin. Very rarely do you see that. You see, like with Campbell, Campbell's hands are down a little bit. He's kind of got that little bit of let your hands go wherever. But then it opens things up when you're least expecting it.
Yeah, and you just saw that response, what we call the counter by Dung. Nice and easy. He gets the shot, 1-2 right towards the chin. One of those is going to have a big effect. That one hurt. Look at this.
Big shots by Charlie Campbell. Later tonight, when the Bellator cage closes, all bets are off and the bad blood will boil over. And it is all over. Just like that. Waved off by Dan Mergliata.
You want to sit?
Charlie Campbell comes in and steals the show. Look at all the kicks in a row here.
Oh, yeah. Just watch what Charlie Campbell does. He starts to hit this kick. Look where it lands, right on that calf. You can see the stumble because his leg's starting to go dead. Let me go back to it. Smart move. Now he doesn't have the ability. Oh, let me go again. Now I'm putting him down, and even when he's down, I'm going to hit that leg again. That's what you call, you get somebody hurt, you go after that. That's a smart fighter. That was a great finish by Charlie Campbell.
You can see here in real time right here, he hits it, and as soon as he hits it, he buckles, and when he buckles again, he goes after it some more. That's the inexperience, though, a little bit of Nainoa Dung, not to switch his stance and try and make adjustments right away.
Right off of that first kick that landed, he knows what he's feeling, and when you have that kick land like that, you know, oh, I got a problem. Switch that stance, take away the ability for him to hit that leg again with another kick.
I'm thinking ACL, MCL might have been damaged a little bit there, the way that he hit the knee, or it did go dead, as you guys mentioned.
I think it went, you know, it's going dead. That perennial nerve runs down that leg, and once it starts to shut off, it is hard to hold your balance.
Yeah, John's getting a little technical with what nerve it is. It's the one that hurts.
The one that you get on.
Yeah,
nerves,
right? It just hurts. Yeah, the nerve. Yeah.
You can help him out. Nonetheless, very aggressive and a very confident Charlie Campbell coming in and earning the victory in his Bellator debut.
Great performance, John. I got to tell you, very good performance.
To make this one official, here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, referee Dan Mergliata waves off the contest officially. 1 minute, 42 seconds, round number 2 for the winner by TKO Charlie, the Cannibal Campbell.
Charlie Campbell at 142 of round number 2 with some very damaging kicks, gets his arm raised, and wins here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena. Back up to Jake.
All right, a little dream on here in the arena here, but that was a nightmare for Dung. Charlie Campbell, look, I can't tell you how many friends of mine in the NFL, they watch MMA and they look at those low leg kicks and they go, how much does that really hurt? Because they see so many guys shaking them off and checking them. Just look and see what Charlie Campbell just did. That's how much they hurt.
Yeah, and Jay, in many ways, I feel as this is a potential for foreshadowing, and I mention that because that calf kick happens to be Benson Henderson's best strike. If I may personalize this, I sparred with Benson Henderson one time. I was in your gym. He kicked me over and over in the calf. At the end of the workout, I said, Benson, great kicks, but you missed my thigh. You never hit it one time. He said, I wasn't aiming for it. I was aiming for your calf. I said, why would you do that? And he looks at me and says, hurts, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. And Jay, I would go as far as to say that Benson Henderson introduced the calf kick to the sport of MMA. He uses it in every fight. He used it in the Nate Diaz fight. By example, he got a lot of guys to copy it. But you have to notice the way Charlie's doing this. There's really no way to check that kick. You can't bring the leg up. You can't use your own shin or your knee as a defense because he's kicking so low. In a worst case scenario, you lift it up and he does a sweep. It's a very good technique. I've never seen a fight finished by it that early.
Always kind of looked at him and said, man, if you put that wrestling behind him, there would be so much more to Matt Mitrione's game, but he just wants to stay on his feet. Obviously, has a good chin. He likes to get a little nasty and dirty in there.
Yeah, and when you look at the level of success that he's had at everything that he's tried in both sports of football and both the sports of MMA, but one thing about Mitrione, and this is a quote from him, I've never heard anybody else say, we've heard it, win at all costs is a common expression. Right. Mitrione says, I don't believe in win at all costs. I believe in compete at all costs. This guy is a competitor. His nerves don't get the best of him, and he brings his skills with him to the cage every night.
And again, you being a teammate of Fortune's, what was his reaction after he lost to Tim Johnson?
Tyrell understood what happened. He understood, look, I've been working on new things in the gym. All of a sudden, I fell in the trap that a lot of guys do. I fell in love with my hands. A lot of golfers will fall in love with the swing. He fell in love with his hands. He said, look, I needed that reminder. I know who I am. I won 11 national championships in wrestling. I'm going to bring those skills with me next time I compete.
All right, love it there. Chael P. Son, and here with us all night long, Goldie, you got the best seat in the house. Take it back, brother.
Definitely do. Thank you very much, Jay. Chael, that was the first loss of Tyrell Fortune's career. You guys talked about that fight. How about Saba Hamasi and Curtis Melinder? Curtis Melinder, Saba Hamasi, Josh, are two guys who are going to meet in the center of the Bellator cage and look for that quick finish.
Yeah, Hamasi's going to try to close the distance, get inside of Melinder's long reach and range with his kicks and his punch and jabs. But, John, it's going to be a tough task to get past all the weapons that Curtis brings to the cage.
Sabah Homasi definitely has the power to hurt anybody in that weight class, but to get past the length and the movement of Curtis Melinder, he is a tough puzzle to figure out.
Miles Jury and Georgie Karhanian, we were there for that big night in Dublin, and what a night it was. Georgie gets the submission win on the same night that his wife gives birth to Georgie Jr. That was a special night, Josh.
Definitely it was.
All right, ready for our next preliminary matchup. As you saw our main card live later tonight on Paramount Network. This one at 205, Grant Neal, Hamza Salim. Salim born in Kuwait. Grant Neal looking to move to 3-0 inside the Bellator cage.
This was a very good fight for Grant Neal. He did beautiful work throughout this fight against Claude Wilcox, and he was damaging from the top position and just systematically beat Wilcox down to where he couldn't respond. It was an outstanding performance in his second fight with Bellator, and I expect the same in this one.
Our tail of the tape for this light heavyweight matchup. Salim making his debut. He is 10 years the elder of his opponent, Neal. Couple inches taller, the reach a little bit of an advantage for Neal.
Yeah, and that's, sometimes people get this idea about, oh, he's taller, he's gonna have a longer reach. Take a look at Neal. He's got a very broad back, long arms, and he has the advantage.
Let's get into the voice, Michael C. Williams.
For those joining us worldwide on the Bellator MMA Global app, we welcome you to Mohegan Sun Arena as the prelims roll on here at Bellator 243 with 3 5-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 6'1", weighing in 205.1 pounds. His professional record, 5 wins, 2 losses, fighting out of Portland, Oregon, Hamza, the Hamza Salim. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 204.7 pounds. His professional record undefeated at 3-0. He fights out of Denver, Colorado, Grant, the Truth, Neal. In charge, your referee, Dan Mergliotta.
Dan Mergliotta, our referee for this light heavyweight fight. Neal, you saw the highlights, the victory over Claude Wilcox. He said, I was more comfortable. I felt very concise and calculated in my attacks as he welcomes Hamza Salim to Bellator tonight. Here we go. Red gloves for Neal, blue gloves for Salim. Fight Block brought to you by Geico. Genesis Training Academy and Elevation Fight Team for the Truth, Neal. Salim will turn 35 tomorrow, taking this fight on 2 weeks' notice.
It was almost looking like he was looking for a lateral drop there and just lost his footing, ended up on the canvas. This is where Neal does his work, up against the cage, staying tight and just dirty boxing someone to death.
Good, head position up. There you go.
He's training in Denver, in Colorado, so right there it tells you that he's gonna have the conditioning to push this pace into the second, into the third, and if he stays busy and active against the fence, it's really gonna start to determine how this fight goes.
One of the things when you're watching, just uptight cage work, and you're seeing those arms, you're seeing Hamza Salim taking an underhook down, and you're seeing Neal put that weight down. Doesn't take long before those arms get very heavy and tired, which slows down your punching, makes it where it's difficult to move, everything.
Oh, big shot right there by Salim. But there was a little bit of, you can see there was a little bit of inexperience there. Neal hit him with a nice knee to the gut right off the break, and he didn't push the pace. You saw Salim step back and try to get his breath.
6-0 as an amateur with 5 finishes, 3-0 in his professional career.
Salim landed that kick. That landed straight up against the side of Neal's head. Neal just took him right down. Sometimes you'll look at something land and you go, that had to hurt.
Just walked right through it.
Walked through it like it was nothing.
Keep his hips under you. Square up to him again.
Been almost 2 years since Salim's last professional fight. Comes in on a 3-fight win streak.
John, what was the story you were telling about Quentin Jackson, his very first fight you ever reffed?
Oh, the very first fight I ever saw Quentin Jackson in, fight Marvin Eastman. At about a minute into it, Marvin Eastman hits him with a shin to the side of his head. Just nothing blocking it. And I just watched Quentin get hit and shake his head like, okay. And he did it multiple times that fight. I said, whoever that guy is, he's going to be good.
We just saw Neal do the
exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Working on the pass here, which is nice. I'd like to see him bring that right knee off the canvas and put it right in between. So you can have a little knee slide position or
slide
drive
that
it over to
up,
3/4 mount.
or at least into that hip junction so there's no movement of being able to slide underneath it.
You see Salim looking for that underhook, which he has now. Now all Salim has to do now is take his left leg to open the heel of Neal, and if he can do that, that'll start to get him to his knees.
When I think of Marvin Eastman, why do I always see that big gash over his left eye?
That's because that was one of the best cuts ever in MMA.
Yeah, and
courtesy of Vitor Belfort.
Yes, indeed. Described very uniquely at the time by my broadcast partner.
Yeah, I did not bring that part up.
Neither did I, actually.
Neal working on that. Looks like he's working on that front guillotine. There he goes.
He's starting to work and starting to tighten up. That's why you're seeing Salim go to his side, try to relieve the pressure of the choke.
Neal has one professional win by knockout, one by submission. His other win was by a unanimous decision. That was his Bellator debut against Jimmy Lugo.
Are you inside the elbow?
I feel like Neal has a different type of guillotine that we probably haven't seen or we're not familiar with, because he keeps going to that front headlock position, almost like a wrestling type position where he's just cupping the chin in that gable grip almost, where he's just cupping the chin. I think he's going to try to put Salim's head right into his breadbasket and lift and choke him there. He's on the cradle, which is nice. I like that position as well, because you can turn them back to their hip and their side.
Forward pressure, forward pressure.
You're going to try to strike, then you go up.
Good. Damn it. Hey, kick that foot out if you want.
What Neal needs to do from here is I like to have him push his head down, push Salim's head down, put his forehead to the canvas. That'll keep his base from standing up.
Yeah, anytime you're on that back, if you're near the cage, if you have your head to the offside away from the cage, you have the ability to get elbowed. Why not take your head, push, drive into that cage, put your head in there, he cannot hit you. Now start delivering your knees.
So he's in that three-quarter mount position. What he needed to do from that position was drive his knee to the mat. He didn't do that. That's why Salim was able to get back to the half-guard position on the far side.
15 seconds on the clock here, round number one.
Grant Neal doing a lot of good work, but you can see that Salim has been taught well. Is off of his back. He moves his hips very well.
Neal doing some good ground and pound, though.
Right. Nice and clean, gentlemen, nice and clean.
Here's the kick from earlier, guys.
This kick is solid. Watch. Big right up against the side. That doesn't hurt me. Drives him right down.
It hurt me just looking at it.
I guess it was more of the foot than it was the shin, so that does make a big difference. But still, it landed, and it was a good shot.
It grazed the glove a little bit as well as it came in. Here you go. Right there.
You dude got kicked in the face, guys.
Yes, he did.
I mean, seriously.
We're trying to.
Let's not downplay it.
Well, we gotta downplay it and say that he's human, and then, you know, that's the reason why he made it through it. It makes us feel better about ourselves.
Fair enough. Once again, I'd like to remind you, Bellator is very proud to have partnered with the dedicated professionals at Hartford Healthcare for all of our COVID-19 testing and screening. For more information, go to hartfordhealthcare.org. Mike Goldberg, Josh Thompson, Big John McCarthy, Jay Glazer, J.O.P. Sonnen, and Jen Brown. Inside the Mohegan Sun Arena, Grant Neal in the red gloves. Hamza Salim making his debut one day before his 35th birthday in the blue gloves. Big John, how do you score the first 5 minutes?
It was an easy round for Neal. Grant ends up where he was dominant in every position of that fight. There was a couple shots he took, but he definitely wins around 10.
Yeah, back to you, double if you want. Good. Good head position. I love that. Right knee to the body. Go. Right knee. Control the elbow.
You saw Salim take a quick break for a second and take a deep breath in that exchange after that first exchange. You see Grant Neal just pushing on him and pressing on him, driving that shoulder, that head underneath the chin. That starts to kind of wear on you. When you're looking up at the sky, you can't seem to get a good breath.
Okay, back to the head position.
You're seeing good head position by Grant Neal. When every time he's taking that forehead and driving it, or that top of his head and driving that chin area towards one side or the other, it takes a lot of the strength away from Salim.
Yeah, good, go.
Freshman All-American fullback at Colorado State University, Pueblo. Won a D2 national championship in 2014. Grant Neal showing some of his power here.
Nice little spinning back elbow there he gets from the clinch position against the fence. Tricky, John. Tricky.
You know, and the best part is you're seeing him improve. This is tight right now.
Pull your right elbow down and pull your left elbow up. That's it.
Listen to him, listen to his coaches. Right away they're telling him what to do, and right away he did it. Very nicely done.
Trying to finish it right here, right now.
You can tell that it's starting to have some effect. It's all in his hand position and how he delivers it. He's got to get his hand back basically through so he can take and start to scissor that up.
Good. Heavy all the way to the mouth.
Now he's got to hip in and drive. Yeah, he's got to hip in as well. Now almost like lay flat on him as he tries to do this.
Exactly. Good job by Salim to look at that's tight. It hurts. You just got to tell yourself, relax. It's not going to get me. And he's just working his way through the position.
I don't know if it really hurts. You just feel yourself starting to see spots.
Yeah.
There's really no pain. It just
all depends on the choke. Yeah. Because blood chokes, there's no pain. All of a sudden you just go out. But when it's a wind choke,
yes,
and especially against trachea, it can definitely not feel good.
You hear your neck crack a little here.
Just a couple.
Just past the midway point of this 3-round fight. Neal really building momentum here in round 2.
What I like from this position here is that Neal's driving his head forward over Salim, so that's keep making it hard for Salim to stand up.
Very heavy on top.
Which is what we didn't see in the last fight with Campbell.
Grant Neal spent some time training with Nate the Great Marquardt right at the beginning of when COVID-19 kind of shut down all the gyms. Proud member of Genesis Training and Elevation Fight Team, as I mentioned. Brandon Gertz, Neil Magny, Justin Gaethje, guys he's worked with in the past.
And Neal, again, looking for that choke, had the back. Salim doing a good job at least trying to keep himself in a defensive position. But he's taking some heavy shots, Josh.
Yeah, what I like is the good positioning here, but I'd like to see him get that knee to the hip position, his left knee, so he could drive it over to a 3/4 mount position.
If he takes that left knee and he slides it into that crease area between the hip and the leg, he pinches Salim up against the cage and there's no ability to move. Now you can start to really open up with power in the right hand.
He also needed to get a far side underhook. If he was able to do that, that would keep Salim from getting back, putting his back to the fence or starting to mount an offense.
Left elbow over the top if you want it.
Nice job of isolating the arm there.
Right elbow, right elbow. Arm up and go.
The Hamza from the Arabic language means lion. Salim coming in on a couple of weeks' notice, a 2nd-degree black belt in kickboxing and karate, and Neal has nullified that attack by keeping this fight on the ground.
Nice job of sliding that knee into the midsection.
Good elbows too, John.
Everything he's doing, he's starting to dominate everything that is happening in this fight.
He's got to go back to fighting for that far side underhook. I can't say it enough. That's the position that's going to keep Salim's back on the ground outside of the big punches landing on the face. But that far side underhook is going to actually keep him from getting to this position back up.
Right. Good job, gentlemen.
Grant Neal is just a thick human being. We're talking about, light heavyweight, not that tall. Man, we are talking, he is carrying a lot of muscle on that frame. Big legs, big chest, big arms, but he's got a gas tank, and it must be coming from working out at elevation up in Denver.
This is it.
Look, he's not even breathing heavy. He's in the corner, relaxed, a couple deep breaths, listening, making eye contact with his corner. That's what you want to see from your young fighters. He's only 3-0, John.
Yeah.
This is an impressive performance.
This was when he had him pressed up against the fence. Beautiful spinning back elbow there, then goes right into the takedown, pulls the legs out, and from this moment was just able to land heavy elbows, big punches, isolated the arm at time, went for some chokes. Everything that he wanted to do, Grant Neal was able to successfully attempt in that round.
Next Saturday, Showtime Boxing is back. Showtime and Bellator are sharing the fight sphere. here at the Mohegan Sun Arena. David Benavides defends his WBC super middleweight belt against Roamir Alexis Angulo. That's next Saturday at 9 p.m. on Showtime from right here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena. Third and final round, Salim comes out southpaw, trying to showcase some of those striking skills after Neal has been dominant in the first 10 minutes.
Hey, good. Now Wiley, go. Wiley.
Salim's got that karate background, and that's why you're seeing him throw those side kicks the way he is. But you're seeing right now all of that grappling. His arms are heavy. He's feeling it. That's, you don't see the snap on it. The punches are kind of pushing out, which is telling you how tired those arms are.
That's the way, you know.
Yeah, Neal needs to go ahead and throw some combinations because Salim's hands are down. His everything's a little bit tired, so he needs to go ahead and open up the takedown with some hands.
Salim out of American Top Team Portland. Fabiano Scherner, of course. Ed Herman, Austin Vanderford, a couple of his training partners. The guy sitting up with Jake Glazer, probably knows Hamza pretty well. Taken down again by Grant Neal.
Yeah, step over, good.
Grant Neal could very well be a factor here at 205 inside the Bellator cage. A couple of amateur championships and still unbeaten in his mixed martial arts career.
He's doing fantastic in this fight, but if he's going to learn one thing out of this fight, it's something Josh has brought up. He needs to figure out that when he puts his opponent up against that cage, if he grabs that far side underhook, it's going to keep his opponent from being able to move himself back into him, and he's going to be more successful in keeping him where he wants.
Yeah, the top position, the most important thing from the top position for ground and pound or for attacking submissions is making sure your opponent's back is flat on the ground. And the way you do that is by making sure you have that far side underhook and going chest-to-chest pressure, making space when you need to open up for striking, elbows, punches, whatever it is, and even to advance your guard pass or your submission attempts.
Slip it out. Good. Post him. Push his head down. Yes. Good. Get the wrist back. Yes.
This is kind of really what he needs, though, is early in your career, you need time in the cage.
Oh.
In big fight scenario situations, under the bright lights, this is a perfect opportunity for him to work on all the things he needs to work on.
And he talked about that in the fight against Wilcox going into the third round, feeling like he became more comfortable and, as I mentioned earlier, more concise and calculated. And so, yeah, there's nothing like the real game. And he's in the real game right here with 2 minutes on the clock.
But once you know your conditioning is not a problem, you're not afraid to go to the third round. But when you go there your first time, it's like, oh no, am I ready? It's going to pick it up. What's going to happen? My opponent's going to press me and I'm not going to know what to do. But no, once he's got there, once he's been there, this third round, look at him. He's just throwing more, throwing more.
Well, one of the biggest fears of any fighter is to become exhausted in the middle of a fight, because then that's when you go, oh my, I'm going to have problems here protecting myself. And right now, Grant Neal needs to figure out, if I open up and I start to just put my foot on the gas, I can get rid of this man now in the third round because of all the work I've done in the prior round.
As you guys mentioned, training at altitude in Denver, certainly a factor as well.
Hand control, 2-on-1, 2-on-1. There you go.
It obviously takes energy to do the things that Grant Neal's doing, but trust me, it kills energy when you're the guy on the receiving end.
Exactly. The more shots you take, it's like playing a video game. You just see the power level just go down.
That bar up on top starts to go into the red real fast.
Step over, right foot over. Head up, head up, head up.
The Truth currently finishing his pre-med at the University of Colorado, Denver. And he has cut open his opponent, Hamza Salim, just over 30 seconds on the clock here, third and final round, hammer fist.
You can hear his coaches telling him, go, 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 because they want him to get that output, go after the finish. Know that when you step on the gas, you're going to be okay. You're going to make it through that. Get rid of your opponent. Don't ever let it go to the judges if you don't have to.
And he has kept a good pace throughout this fight.
He has. That's been an outstanding pace.
Well, there comes a time when you realize that your opponent has no offense available to him, so just go for it.
Yeah. And he did. Right. Dominant and victorious. Grant Neal will move to 3-0 in the Bellator cage, 4-0 as a professional. Good effort by Salim on 2 weeks' notice.
This is some of the action from Grant Neal. All the good work, pulls the legs out, gets that top position, and maintains it the entire fight. Every time he took the fight down, he was able to maintain that position. You see Salim trying to go for sweeps, trying to get that hook on the leg. None of it working to off-balance him. Nice tight elbows inside, rolling the wrist over. All of this is good, solid work. The one thing that Grant Neal is going to have to do once he watches this fight is figure out, you know what? I had a lot left in the gas tank. I could have stepped on that pedal a lot longer, and maybe in more times. It's going to give me that finish that later on in my career is going to help.
Yeah, there was some more damage he could have done by controlling the positions a little bit better. The far side underhook is one, driving the knee through, keeping it in the middle to drive it a three-quarter mount. There was a lot of little things, but he's 3-0 now. Pretty soon, hopefully, to be 4-0. I would imagine.
Good.
Looking good. Little tweaks here and there.
Yeah, but that's all part of the learning process.
About to move to 10-0 combined professional and amateur fights. Just 24 years old. Salim, the former member of the Jordanian national kickboxing team, got that kickoff in round number 1. And Grant Neal said, no, we're not going to fight on the feet. We're going to fight on the mat. We're going to fight on the canvas. And he was able to turn in a dominant performance from that point on.
No, I like that. I like that.
The official decision is in, and here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges. At cage side, your first, Mike Bertha, scores it 30-26. Judge Dave Torelli, 30-27. And Judge Dave Peabody scores it 30-24. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated, Grant the Truth Neal.
Couple of 10-8s for Grant Neal. Most importantly, another victory. He remains unbeaten. That, my friends, is the truth. Jay Glazer.
All right, our fights roll on here. Our second fight of our main cards, Georgie Karahanyan and Miles Jury. Look, we're talking about whether somebody's a slow starter or a fast starter. Georgie Karahanyan, he is a fast starter. He's had an awful lot of wins in that first round, 16 submissions or knockout just in the first round. And the thing about Georgie, he's either going to choke you or try and hit you with that big overhand right.
Yeah, funny you say that. He's a lot of fun for me. If I was to compare him to another fighter, he reminds me a lot of Fabricio Verdum in this way. Verdum loves to be on the ground. He's not afraid to be there. And because of that, Jay, he will swing for the fences on his feet. He doesn't care if you come underneath or close the distance or take him down. That's where he was born and raised. So Georgie's a lot of fun. I would compare his overhand right very similar to Chuck Liddell, at least in the movement. It swings big and a lot like Chuck. If he hits you with it, it's likely a curtain call.
So you just compared him to Fabricio Verdum and Chuck Liddell.
High praise, but I have high praise for this guy. Look, Jay, I think if you don't mind me saying...
Nothing against Georgie, more so against you.
Well, if you His practice circling out of the way and closing the distance.
Yeah, very high sport IQ and fight IQ for Miles Jury. For more on this matchup, let's send it now to our Jen Brown.
Well, thanks. I'm here with Georgie Karhanyan. Georgie, this will be your second fight at 155. How much better do you feel fighting at lightweight?
I feel awesome. You know, like I said in my previous interviews, I just get to focus on my craft, not cutting weight the week of the fight, so I feel great.
It's nice not having to cut that weight. Okay, tonight your opponent, Miles Jury, he's a tough opponent. He says that he's a better all-around fighter than you. What do you say to that?
Let them all say that. I mean, when the door locks, we'll see who's the better man.
You said you wanted to come out and make a statement tonight, so what can we expect?
Expect violence, you know. I go out there to kill or be killed, and I'm going to go out there and look to finish him.
All right, we look forward to seeing you in the cage. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Jen.
That fight later tonight, live on Paramount Network. Up next, the flyweights enter the Bellator cage, the Tiny Tear and the Master.
Wow. A maestro at work at David Benavidez. Get out the way. Ain't no time to play in. Monstrous dominance by Benavidez. This ain't a game. This ain't a game. This is a bright future for this champion. Throwing with bad intentions.
Gonna want to remember that name because I have no doubt you're going to be hearing it down the road.
Undefeated champion David Benavidez clashes with Romer Angulo on Showtime.
All summer long, Bellator MMA delivers the knockout blows.
This is unbelievable.
With big-time fights, live and free on Paramount Network.
Here we go.
World champions, top-ranked contenders, and rising stars.
Things are just beginning to heat up for Bellator MMA.
Bellator is back all summer long on Paramount Network. Ryan Bader ran through the heavyweight Grand Prix and made history by knocking out Fedor Emelianenko. Now, August 21st, live and free on Paramount Network. Champ Ryan Bader will put his light heavyweight title on the line.
I'm the best I've ever been.
It's all over!
But coming for his gold, Fedor's protege.
This guy's a beast.
Vadim Nemkov.
Good night.
Bellator MMA, live Friday, August 21st at 10 on Paramount Network. Their epic first fight had MMA fans screaming for a rematch.
Unbelievable.
Next, live and free on Paramount Network. The fight is finally here.
Let's do this!
I expect to get a knockout, so that's what I'm focused on.
MMA icon Benson Henderson looks for redemption.
Good night!
When he battles three-time lightweight champion Iron Michael Chandler.
I'm going to step into that cage and I'm going to finish him.
Bellator MMA, live next on Paramount Network.
And it all takes place right here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena. Bellator MMA, Showtime Boxing, Bellator MMA again here tonight as we get set for this flyweight showcase between Valerie Loreda, 2-0 in her young career, and Tara Graf, set to make her Bellator debut. And Valerie has been a fighter her entire life, and man, what an impressive start to her Bellator career, John.
Very impressive start. You know, coming from a Taekwondo background, you know her kicks are going to be good. But normally a Taekwondo fighter doesn't really do well with their hands. And we have seen from Valerie, man, she has learned how to punch, how to kick. She is an aggressive fighter who goes after her opponents. She's just plain fun to watch.
This fight originally scheduled to take place back in January. It will happen right here, right now. Our tale of the tape for Loreda and Graf. The big difference is the age.
Yeah, you can see that big difference. 22, she's very young. Where Tara Graf, 34, a lot of more experience in amateur and in the pros, not as much. It'll be telling to see how she does in this fight.
We will soon find out. Here's Michael C. Williams with the introductions.
Tonight from Mohegan Sun Arena, Bellator 243 now features the flyweight division scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, the blue corner. At 5'4", weighing in 125 pounds even. Her professional record, 1-1. She fights out of Waldorf, Maryland. presenting Tara, the Tiny Terror Graf. And across the cage, her adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'4", weighing in 125.3 pounds. As a professional, she's undefeated at 2-0. She fights out of Miami, Florida, Master Valerie Loreda. In charge, your referee, Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran, our referee. Tara Graf's trainer is her boyfriend, Mike Pagano, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Valerie's sister, Master Natalie, in her corner tonight.
First round. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Hell, let's go.
Here we go. Valerie Loreda in the red gloves, the Tiny Terror. Tara Graf in the blue gloves. Fight Clock brought to you by Geico.
Mike Beltran's gonna have to be on his bicycle today. He almost got trapped between the bike and the girls.
We will see the sweat starting to pour off of that beautiful dome shortly. He's laughing. One thing that we've seen out of Tara Graf is she is very aggressive in her fights, and you know, she has that 1-1 record. And Josh, I was watching that loss that she had. She was winning that fight first round, second round. She got caught with a big shot in the third round. That ended the fight. She just got hurt right there.
She's got to punch her way in. She's just stepping in and then trying to grab the body right away.
Valerie training at American Top Team. Steve Bruno, King Mo, Mike Brown.
Right hand, no setup.
From Miami. She knows that Tara Graf is very aggressive and comes forward lots, and we have seen that already here in the first minute plus.
Well, you know, a lot of people are not going to like what Valerie's doing as far as all of this movement, but it's very smart because she's got someone that's so aggressive. Hey, let me frustrate you. Let me make you overextend. And she's all of a sudden setting her feet and coming with her attack and landing shots. She's already hurt Tara in this fight.
Yeah, but the inexperience from Graf has already been shown. Look at Loreda. She's circling the same way the whole time. So what you got to do to stop that is throw a left hook or throw a body kick or a leg kick to stop her momentum from there. And I also don't like that as well. Graf just stepped in, just trying to grab to the body instead of actually punching.
Throwing shots to get in. You've got to use those hands by making your opponent have to deal with something instead of just sticking your chin right there as your hands are trying to go around the body.
There you go. That's a little bit better right there. Just throw 1-2. Let's start with the 1-2. And let's keep the chin down.
Just landed another good 1-2.
Highly decorated in Taekwondo, both her sister Natalie and Valerie began training as babies, they said. Coached each other in tournaments. Mom Millie, Dad Frank, both black belts in Taekwondo.
Graf really needs to make Loreda circle the other way by cutting the cage off, because you can tell that Loreda, a lot of her combinations are going from that way. She's used to circling that way all the time. So let's stop that and make her fight from positions she's not as familiar with.
Graf is having a hard time of understanding how to cut off that cage and step to make it to where Loreda is feeling cut off and she'll stop that movement. Right now she's following.
Lightning off that chase. Lightning.
Yellowstone is cable's #1 drama, starring Academy Award winner Kevin Costner. Catch new episodes of Yellowstone Sundays at 9 on Paramount Network. Round 1, red gloves for Valerie Loreda. Tara Graf making her debut. She is in the blue gloves.
Cut the angle now. Cut the angle now.
Only success Graf has had is when she's punched her way in and was able to get to the clinch there.
Clinch range.
Punch your way out. Punch your way out.
Tell me, her idea is to get in this clinch position and to dirty box Loreda until the point where she can get her down to the ground.
Short hooks. Right back on her. Left kick. Left leg. Left leg now.
Father Frank not here tonight.
Set it up with your right hand.
Thus Master Natalie, as I mentioned, in her corner.
Right there again, exactly what Josh has been talking about. She's lunging in for that takedown. She's gonna get caught. You've got to fight your way in. Throw your hands and make your opponent react to the shots that you're throwing.
Also, she just had success there getting her to the fence because she threw the left hook first, and that landed. But then what she needs to do is drop down on the legs, because that's what's making Loreda move so well, is her footwork. Right now, she keeps trying to go to the body, drop down on the legs, and try to pull one away.
Tara got a late start, no martial arts experience until age 27. Started as an independent fighter and has worked her way into the Bellator cage.
Hands up, let's go, baby. Right hook after that left hook. Hook. Bang, overhand.
Would love to do some damage to the master here.
Come on.
In this 3-round fight. Nice left over the top.
Yeah, good shot. Good point. Hey, the Viking hurt. Left kick. Two body. Stop.
Great job, but now you got to take big breaths. No, hey, honestly, we have no advice but to kick. Your hands are fine, okay? Yeah, I know.
So when you cut it to the right and lift the forward, your right is working, ending with the hook that you're going to cut off to that side. So pyramid to the right, lighten, level, and throw the hook after. This way you clinch.
So you hear the corner telling her exactly what I was talking about. You've got to cut the cage off. And the way you do that is by throwing punches to that side to make them stop their movement. Now when they stop their movement, then you throw the straight right, and you throw this kick down the middle, something along that line to get them to stand still for a split second.
Anytime someone's moving in a direction and you're throwing that side, that's what lands with some power. It makes them go, oh, I can't deal with that. They're going to stop all of that fast movement. Until she does that, it's just going to continue on.
Tara talking about her boyfriend, Mike Pagano. She said, not only is he my other half, my rock in life, but he is my other half on the mats. He's one of the most hardworking, talented, driven, and dedicated coaches I have ever worked with. Round 2. Loreda in the red, Grab in the blue. Not much said in the corner of Valerie other than let's utilize some kicks.
Oh, you're going to talk about someone that should be kicking. It is Valerie. She's got how many years of experience utilizing all the different types of kicks that come from the Taekwondo style?
Well, she's 22, John, so if she started at age 2, my math would say 20.
You're good, dude.
Yes, I got a big brain, as you would say.
I swear.
Josh has got his phone out right now. He's calculating. Yeah. It is 20, Josh.
What are you guys talking about?
Yeah. There was one.
Yes. Cut it the angle now when you're done to left.
She needs to keep that chin down though when she's throwing those punches. As much as I'd like to see her cut the cage off of that left hook, she needs to keep the chin down.
Recover.
What you're going to find is you're going to find it. Grapple run into kind of the same problem that people have when they fight Lyoto Machida. They get so frustrated that they start just chasing and running in with their hands down and not really setting things up. And that's how they get countered and knocked out.
Absolutely. Ryan Bader is the perfect example of that. Was so frustrated with Lyoto Machida that he eventually just ran towards him.
Ran into the wood chipper.
Bingo.
Bingo. And speaking of the dragon, Lyoto Machida had this to say about Valerie Loreda. As a lifelong martial artist who transitioned to MMA, bringing the essence of my family's karate to a new sport, he said he's excited to see Valerie bring her world-class Taekwondo to MMA. He believes she will be someone to look out for in the years to come. That's high praise from one of the best of all time. Bellator's Lyoto Machida.
Tara Graf needs to take the words that her coaches gave her in that break between the first and second round. Understand, if she's moving to her left, she's got to throw that left hand out there with a big hook or something that is going to stop that movement because she keeps on following.
Graf just found a nice little overhand right in that first exchange to press her to the fence.
There you go. Do it again. Start over.
Don't forget tonight when the Bellator cage closes, all bets are off and the bad blood will boil over. Iron Michael Chandler and Smooth Benson Henderson meet again. That's tonight at 10, live and free on Paramount Network.
So now Graf is actually punching her way in, which is what we want to see. But the problem is when she's done punching, she leaves herself right there to be hit.
Yeah, her head stays on that center line the entire time, and her chin. The more she's throwing her hands, the higher that chin is getting.
Walk her down. Right. Kick two. Let's go. Kick.
Your left hand.
Sit down.
Loreda should be able, she's in shape to do all this movement because this is what she does. But you can tell she's starting to slow down a little bit right now.
Well, there's been a lot of movement out of her.
Let's throw some kicks. Starting them up, Valerie.
Harlan.
If Graf has it in her, she needs to keep doing what she's doing by punching her way in because that's what's making the difference in this.
Yeah, that was a nice stiff jab by Loreda. Loreda just needs to look for her moments when Graf enters that range that she has because of her kick range and her hands. Enters the range, start hitting her with shots. Don't wait.
That was a nice right hand by Loreda.
A good right hand return by Graf.
As advertised, the tiny Tara Graf is fighting aggressively. Final minute of round number 2.
2-3 over. 2-3 overhand.
Go that 6 out. Come on, baby. Go that 6. Come on.
2-3 over. Go. Body kick, 2-3 overhand. Body kick.
30 seconds.
2-3 over. Good shot. But put her right hand behind.
Loreda needs to go back and utilize that jab. Every time she sticks it out there, she's touching, which is stopping this whole momentum of Graf.
That's what just set up that beautiful right hand. She threw the one, then she threw the one again, and then she came back with a straight 1-2 after that.
1-2 roll 2 kick.
Final 10 seconds of round number 2.
Oh! Big overhand right.
Big shot! Looking to finish! They will go to the 3rd round. No, it is all over. Just like that. Mike Bell trying to stop the fight.
That was a vicious shot. Oh my goodness.
Wow. That was a big shot out of a little lady.
Right on the button. She had taken some big shots throughout the round, and I think that's what led up to her taking a huge shot right now.
Let her get checked out first.
I'm a fat bitch! Fuck with me! I'm on Instagram!
Look at that right hand land right on the chin and then goes after her for the finish. You gotta love the fact that she's going after big right hand. You can see how it froze Tara Graf. Loreda going after her, hammer fist and then punches. She's taking big shots on the ground. You look at the arms and how they're outstretched. It's just not an intelligent defense. That's why Mike Beltran stopped the fight.
Let's listen to it.
John, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Right when the bell goes, good stoppage?
Absolutely. It does not matter how much time is on the clock or if the bell is even sounded. You see that moment, you say this person should no longer be in this fight. Fight is over. It's a good call by the referee.
You know, I have talked about it many times, Big John. There is no clock in the mind of a referee.
Never. You allow that clock to have an impact on your decision making, you're probably going to make a mistake.
Wise words, my young friend.
Ooh, wise words. I love the part that you said young friend, too.
I did.
That was
Oh, he was talking to me.
That was a faux pas.
Talking to me there.
You got to be nice every once in a while.
He's still trying to figure out the 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Is that why the abacus is out here?
Oh, wow. Now you are old. She's a little pumped up, and justifiably so. Valerie moves to 3-0. Michael C. Williams to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end. Official time, 5 minutes. Round number 2. The winner by knockout, still undefeated, Master Valerie Loreda.
Huge shot late in round 2. Winner by knockout. It will be officially at 5 minutes of the second round. And Valerie Loreda, whose mom Millie just a few weeks back celebrated 4 years in remission after her bone marrow transplant. So big prayers to the family and a big performance for the Master Valerie. That was a heck of a finish, Jay Glazer.
Absolutely, Goldie. Great post-fight celebration. Better in-cage performance there from Valerie and Chael. Look, a lot of times we see people come over from Taekwondo or karate backgrounds. They're certainly not as aggressive as they are with their hands. The way Valerie is, she is a rising star in this sport, especially during the knockout. After she put her down, she didn't just sit there and look at her. She went and jumped on to finish it.
Right, Jay, and there's a little more than the eye might pick up here. Look, while I am impressed by Valerie's skills, I'm not surprised. I knew she possessed them, but I would like to speak to the mental state of this. Anytime you have a traditional martial arts, in this case, Taekwondo, one thing they need, Jay, is they need distance, and her opponent did a great job of taking that away, but Valerie did a better job of staying focused. She kept moving her feet. She kept trying to reset that range. She kept looking for a target. She stayed very calm. For somebody as young in their career, to see that calmness, I thought was very impressive.
Yeah, also, look, they talked about a Big John and Josh throughout the fight, that she kept circling away from that big right hand from Tara Graff, and every time she would stop and plant, she kind of answered the phone, right, to block it. It's just real different. She has a different style. It's not just your normal Taekwondo style. I really like her game. Very aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also would like to restate the mental side of it. I like to see somebody that's happy to win. I like to see that kind of a celebration. I mean, look, when somebody works hard and puts everything into it and goes out there and gets a victory, that really does speak to what it means to them, to their family, to their pride, to their team. Congrats to Valerie.
We have a lot of great fights from here on out the rest of the night. We have Agazarm coming up next. Adam Boric, he's on the prelims as well. And for more on the main card, Goldie.
Jay Chael, thank you very much. Of course, our main event of the evening, the rematch between Michael Chandler and Benson Henderson. We got a heavyweight battle. We got a couple of guys that are going to throw bombs at 175, and Miles Jury, Georgie Karhanian, a spectacular matchup at 155. Earlier, Jen Brown talked to Georgie. Now she checks in with Miles Fury Jury.
Well, thanks. I'm here with Miles Jury. Now, Miles, tonight you face Georgie Karhanian. He's got a lot of power in his hands. He's also a dangerous grappler. Where do you want to take this fight?
I feel comfortable wherever the fight goes. Whether we stay on the feet, whether we go to the ground, I feel good either way, so looking forward to it.
He said that you are a safe fighter, that you don't take chances. He says you're not a finisher. So what's your response to that?
I can do it all. I'm good all around. I can finish fights, check the highlight.
Now, you said an exciting win over Georgie tonight would put you in the title shot. So how do you see this fight ending?
I feel like when the smoke clears, I'm going to be the one that's left standing up.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you in the Bellator cage. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So that part of our live card on Paramount Network, just a little bit over an hour away. Right now, we are ready for a battle at 145. Chris Lencioni, Sunshine, and A.J. Agazarm, both men, veterans inside the Bellator cage, both men with 3 wins as Bellator fighters.
Chris Lencioni has got an outstanding ground game. He's got good jiu-jitsu. It's slick at times. Got a big win right there against a very good fighter, Navjalani. And A.J. Agazarm is known for being a jiu-jitsu whiz. This is a guy that has an outstanding jiu-jitsu game, but also an outstanding wrestling background, Josh.
Well, they've already grappled before, apparently. If I talk to Chael Sonnen, there's something about it we just cannot talk about because there's legal issues.
Okay, got it.
All right, so we move on to our tail of the tape between Lencioni and Agazarm. Agazarm, 4 years the elder. Reach is identical. Look at the records, a little more experience for Sunshine, John.
Absolutely, but that 3-1 for Agazarm, you got to realize he lost his first professional fight. He's on a 3-0 run.
And all of his fights professionally have been here in Bellator. With the official introductions, once again, Michael C. Williams.
Tonight, here at Bellator 243 from Mohegan Sun Arena, we go to the featherweight division set for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, the blue corner. At 5'8", weighing in 145.3 pounds, his professional record, 3 wins, 1 loss. From Hollywood, Florida, he fights out of Stockton, California, AJ Agazarm. And across the cage is adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 5'10", weighing in 145.8 pounds. As a professional, 6 victories, 2 defeats. From Canby, Oregon, Chris Sunshine Lencioni. In charge, your referee, Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran, our referee. Lencioni, training in Huntington Beach at the Ultimate Training Center. Spent a lot of years at American Top Team Portland, so he is known very well by, of course, our own JOP Sonnen, Lencioni, and the proud Ohio State Buckeye, AJ Agazarm. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Geico. Lencioni in the red gloves, Agazarm in the blue gloves. I like how AJ described his fighting career to this point. I learned my wrestling at Ohio State, 2nd-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Gracie Barra, now studying the art of fighting at the Nick Diaz Academy. Not bad at all. That's a good trifecta.
It is a good trifecta. You know, one of the things about AJ, we saw it in his very first professional.
Oh, big shot.
Nice shot by Lencioni. He's got him hurt.
Sorry, John, to interrupt.
It's okay. You're right.
Chris was actually the one who interrupted, punched him in the face, wasn't he?
Smart move by Lencioni to let him back on his feet. Agazarm is going to feel more comfortable on his back, even in the position of, if he's going to have his back, he wants to be in the top position, but if he's on his back, he's still going to be comfortable. Lencioni is skilled on the ground, but he does not have the credentials that Agazarm brings.
But this is not a jiu-jitsu match.
What is not? You get to punch.
I've seen the best black belts in the world turn into white belts after 2 or 3 punches.
Absolutely. Right now, Chris Lencioni is landing more than 2 or 3.
And Chris Lencioni coming off a split decision victory in which he said he was able to outstrike, out-wrestle, and outwork a very dangerous fighter, of course, Josh from AKA. And Lencioni's leg was messed up in that fight as well.
Well, his leg can get messed up too. It's entwined here, and you saw that Agazarm was going to be going for a heel hook. Lencioni was smart enough to get that heel back to the ground, but if he gets in this position, he can be hurt.
He can sit up and he's trying to hit that calf slicer from this position.
If he gets that other leg over, he's got it. Now Agazarm comes up. Good job by Lencioni to come back to his feet, getting himself off the mat.
Here's the thing is, Lencioni has that style where he's continuously smiling.
And it is always.
Bugs people when you can't mount an offense on someone because they're just having fun out there. And Chael's warned me about him several times about he's the kid that will walk up and he's just the nicest kid in the world, but training with him sometimes can be frustrating because he's just laughing and smiling and just continues to talk. And it's great. It's great stuff. And that's what you see from this position as well. He's just enjoying the moment.
Agazarm did a beautiful job of taking the back and holding that position in the back, and you saw that he was going, he had the Kimura grip on the arm to hold himself in position till he got his legs tight where he wanted to be, ends up spinning around. Now he's here with hooks. It's a lot of time to have someone like AJ Agazarm now in the mount position.
Full mount for AJ Agazarm. Plenty of time to work here in round number 1.
He's going to give his back again. Posture.
AJ just controlling the top position. You'll start to see him try to isolate one arm probably.
Watch your hands.
As you see right now with the right arm. He's going to start trying to walk that hand up the right side of Agazarm. He's going to try to walk Lencioni's right side up. Oh, he just lost it. There he goes. He got it back.
It did look like Agazarm actually threw a head strike.
Certainly did. I looked
intentional.
I looked right at you.
He's going to try and explode here.
Why'd you look at him? You act like he knows the rules or something.
He used to ref, I think. I think he might have even authored the book of rules, from what I heard.
And this is where you get someone that has the skill level of Agazarm on the ground, and he gets a dominant position like mount. It's not an easy position to get yourself out of.
Don't let him walk the cage. Graduated from the same
No
great
doubt
Ohio
that was an
State.
absolute headbutt.
Yep.
That. I just was able to see that striking of the head. You see Agazarm take his head, move it off of the position of being on top of Lencioni's head, and bring it down in a striking fashion. That is an absolute foul. It should have been taken out of the position, and point should have been taken away from him.
Can he do that at the break? Can the referee deduct the point at the break?
No, he could if he knew of what he had, and he said, he should have done it then. He missed it. And sometimes when you're that referee inside, you don't see everything, even though it's like, how did you not see that? You were looking at something else right at the moment it happens, and you didn't see it the same, and that's why it wasn't called.
John, this is going to be a really close round to judge because there wasn't a whole lot of damage done by Agazarm from the top position. There was never a threat of submission either, and Lencioni landed a couple good shots and potentially dropped him from that one position that we saw earlier.
Yeah, he did. He dropped him with that shot. You think about, again, MMA is not a sport of position when you're judging it.
All right, Big John, put your old cape on and talk us through this one.
Let's take a look. That is what we call an illegal headbutt. You cannot use the head as a striking instrument in any fashion. That definitely was something that should have been called. It was intentional, and if it caused any damage, you're at least taking 2 points from him. So
here's another position at the belt. Agazarm's a little frustrated. You could tell he just starts to kick him off.
Well, as you said, Lencioni can frustrate you. So
I got that advice from Chael P. Sonnen. He's the guy that when you train with him, he's having fun and it gets on your nerves.
Yeah. Chris had this to say about AJ. He runs his mouth more than any fighter I've ever seen, and his credentials are trash. He does a really good job at sticking his face right into strikes. Not something you see from any other fighter. Very unique. Wow, he's creative, much like JP Sutton, isn't he?
I think Lencioni should tell us how he really feels.
Don't hold back, Chris. Round two. Red gloves for Lencioni. Nice sprawl.
That was a beautiful sprawl because he actually got fairly deep on that shot. Lencioni was able to get his hips back. Nice. Beautiful timing on it too, Josh.
I thought he was going to lift him up and do it, but he didn't have
to.
Agazarm actually lifted his hand up off the ground.
Get up. So a very difficult round one to score, as Josh alluded to.
I don't, it could be also because of the head, but I look at that round, and although Agazarm definitely won the positioning of the round, you have to be looking towards, is he working towards a finish? If he's just in position, it's not going to do anything for him. It's who's working towards finishing the fight.
Well, like we talked about earlier, John, it really comes down to who did the most damage. And Agazarm walked back to his corner with a nice mouse under his left eye.
That's one shot, though.
Yeah, I know, but if you're talking about damage, that's the damage I saw.
And this is where Agazarm does really well. Take a look at the leg position and take a look at his ability to put pressure on the right. There he's going back to that Kimura grip to control the position. He's very good from this top position. When he grabs that, even when he gets high, he's able to suck himself back into a good position and have it to where many times he gets the choke.
For both guys, this is a lot of energy spent because with Agazarm, even though he's on top, he's having to use those hooks to keep that position.
Yeah, he's squeezing with those legs big time, and there's a lot of energy being put out.
And then Lencioni having to carry Agazarm's weight and also trying to kick his leg to release one of those hooks. That's another thing that used a lot of energy.
AJ Agazarm, second-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie Barra. And Chris Lencioni, a black belt in Taekwondo, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
He's like a 100-degree black belt, though, and smiling and having a good time.
Yes, he is indeed. He's a red belt there.
Yes.
you go. Come on. Yes, good, good. Let him have it right here. For that arm. Get your butt back up in the air.
This is exactly where you hear the corner saying, let him have it here. This is where Agazarm needs to open up. Those strikes will open up the submission. You've got to go for it. You cannot wait. If you're waiting, you could lose the position. And he's almost lost the position a couple of times here. So why are you waiting at trying to open him up?
AJ's wrestling coach is Tom Ryan, the Ohio State Buckeyes head coach since 2006. The Buckeyes, the 2015 National Wrestling Champions.
See, I don't like this position that Lencioni's in. See how he's got his back flat on his chest? I want him to pick a side so he's only defending one side, because right now he's having to defend both sides. Agazarm can choke him with his left arm and his right arm. If he slides to one side, he's only got to worry about being choked from one side.
Try to use that to go on top.
And again, Agazarm is winning the battle of positioning, but he's doing no damage. Right now, this is what we almost call a seatbelt position. Taking that over under, and here comes Lencioni out of the position. We'll see if he goes after him on the ground or backs out and tries to make this fight on the feet.
Yeah, line him up right here. He's gonna posture.
Under 90 seconds on the clock here, round 2.
Get him off you.
Agazarm's got a nice little cut right between his eyes, it looks like, from this position. That very first little chopping elbow that Lencioni hit him with.
Get your head off the cage.
And this is the difference what we're talking about. You saw all that time that Agazarm had position and no damage, and then Lencioni turns the position, and just a couple elbow strikes, we've got damage. That's gonna have some effect with the judges.
Looking to posture up and throw down some more ground and pound.
Back to the head, AJ.
50 seconds, AJ.
Clean.
You hear Beltran yelling at him, be careful the back of the head.
Go. Try and get up. Don't stay there.
Good control here by Chris Lencioni.
Here's some of the issue, I think, with fighting Lencioni for Agazarm, is that it's the frustration of the smiles. There's that. But then you have a mouse under your eye. Then you have a cut. And even though you had offensive moves and positioning, you haven't done any damage yourself. So now you're getting even more frustrated with someone who's out there relaxed and having fun.
You can take the difference is, take a look, when Agazarm had all of the dominant positions, he wasn't doing any strikes. Now when he's in guard, a 50-50 basically, he's throwing all these strikes. He should have been doing that from the positions where he had dominance.
Keep him off of you.
Definitely opened up a cut on AJ Agazarm's forehead.
Stop! Get up.
And another smile.
Stop. Get up. Go. Get up. You both of you get up. We're looking at each other. All right? Knock it off. Keep it clean.
He sounds like you, John.
All right?
Well, in that position, though, he's in his corner.
Little bossy.
Lencioni's in his corner, so Agazarm showing the frustration again.
Here's what happens at the end of the round. Watch the feet of Agazarm. You see Lencioni. Lencioni's there. That little push right there, you know, this is where you, as the referee, you want to start to take control, because it can only escalate from there.
Should he have taken a point? That's the second time, and plus he didn't see the headbutt, but I'm saying the headbutt as well.
I don't think, referee Mike Beltran saw the headbutt, and so he knew that he got a reaction from Lencioni, but he didn't really see it. And now he has this one, and he's starting to go back and forth and say, hey, no more. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you got it. Stay over there.
Third and final round.
These are the looks I get.
Yes, I was.
Time. Come here, both of you. Both of you, come here. Hey, keep it clean. Both of you guys, keep it clean. Be professional. You understand? Both of you, go.
So I think what you're seeing there, that's Mike Beltran trying to say, hey, I'm not going to put up with anything more. So if someone pulls one of these little things again, you're going to see points coming off.
And I think Chris said something about headbutts. And so, yeah, trying to de-escalate this confrontation.
Keep your hands up.
5 minutes remain. John, how do you have it scored? This is a tight fight.
Right now, I've got Lencioni winning the fight right now. He's landed the bigger, heavier shots, although he has not been the guy in control of position near as long as Agazarm. When it comes down to fighting, and it's about not volume so much, but damage. And now you had some volume with Agazarm off his back, but Lencioni's the one that's landing big elbows. I'd rather get hit with a bunch of little tiny shots than one big elbow.
And you can see the damage on the face of AJ Agazarm.
Double jab straight.
Both men with 3 wins inside the Bellator cage. Featherweight matchup here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena.
Don't stand in front of him, dude. Pop your jab circle.
You see Lencioni talking to Agazarm also. He's like, oh, that wouldn't hurt. I'm like, oh, what was that? Like, those are things that add to the frustration when things are not going your way.
No. Kick him off. You keep him away from you. Kick at his knees.
Stop, stand up, let's go. Turn around. Fight, let's go.
More work. Hands up.
I think Beltran forgot there's no crowd.
Close the gap. Body lock.
That jab that Lencioni's throwing out, every time he throws it, he's connecting. Except for right there.
Close the gap.
But, I mean, he really has been, just every time Agazarm comes in, you see him just snap, just pops the jab. Not a lot of power on it, but it's touching, and there it touches again. He should just start utilizing that hand and his ability to just pop it. Every time Agazarm comes close, pop him with it. Nice elbows.
Relaxation. Just the relaxation from Lencioni. Just touch, touch, touch. Eventually he's going to load up and take one big shot when Agazarm's not expecting it.
Up, up, up. Come on, up with that.
Elbow from Sunshine.
Sometimes, in fact, but you watch Lencioni, sometimes he almost gets lackadaisical and gets caught in the position. You have right now a guy who's having problems in front of you. You know it. You know you're in control. So start to step on the gas and start to do damage.
There is no question that AJ Agazarm is frustrated.
Yeah, you know, you can see that from, you know, first off, the headbutt, it's the kickoff at the end of the round, all of it. That's usually a frustrated fighter doing those things.
Right.
There it is. Nice.
Not a recommended move to do against a good jiu-jitsu guy, good wrestler. He threw the head kick.
Come on, circle, pass that guard.
Scramble by Lencioni.
Very nice scramble. Now that they're wet, slippery, whole lot easier. That entwinement of the leg doesn't happen the same way.
Don't let him coast. Make him work. Hands up. 2 minutes straight. Pop that jab.
John, on our tail of the tape, you talked about experience, cage time. Here in the third, Lencioni, very calm.
Come on, up, up, up.
Agazarm has fought through tough moments before, though. He overcame adversity against Adel Altamini and ended up getting the triangle finish in the third.
That was an interesting position. We always talk about getting your head high. In wrestling, the guy that's got his head high is usually the one that comes out on top of the position. That's what you saw with Lencioni.
The other thing is, as well, is what you're seeing from Lencioni is things that Agazarm hasn't seen in an MMA fight. You just saw that. He shot in on the single, tried to cool him down, and Lencioni kind of did a cartwheel step over. Those aren't things that you normally see, you know, in a fight, especially Agazarm being only 3-1.
Let's go.
Chris Lencioni joined the Gracie Baja, now American top team, Portland team at age 16. He said, and I quote, "I was the first." Now 26 years old, looking for his 4th Bellator win. Just over a minute on the clock.
Nice movement by Lencioni. Now almost in full mount, what we call 3/4 guard with a foot.
3/4 mount, by the way.
You guys can fight it out.
You're absolutely right.
45.
John has the reach advantage, though. In this, there is social distancing.
We are 6 feet away. There's no way my arms are reaching him.
Yeah. John might be able to still tag it. So careful, Josh.
Watch the
30 seconds on the clock.
30 seconds.
You're seeing Lencioni trying to work towards an arm triangle. Not going to be something he's going to pull off on Agazarm from that. Just needs to open up exactly with elbows, just like he is. Just start opening up. Heavy pressure, drop that elbow on him.
He's just one of those guys that it's hard to fight. Doesn't matter positioning-wise, smile-wise, laughing, talking to you. It's frustrating. Gotta tell you, Goldie.
No question, you could see it on the face of AJ Agazarm in the 3rd and final round, as Lencioni will walk away with a smile on his face, and he believes his 4th Bellator victory.
John, what are you talking to Mike Beltran about?
What are you talking about? Lencioni lands left hand, little uppercut, didn't hurt him. It was more off balance, but that was a nice right hand again. This is the difference in the fight. It was the heavier blows that Lencioni was able to land. You can look, and that's considered an axe kick, but it's getting close to a stomp. It's, you know, all these things that happen in this fight. These guys did not like each other. We knew that going in, and they played the parts very well. But look at these nice elbows inside. Lencioni did some really good work. I believe he's going to come away with the victory.
30-27.
For the decision, we go now to 3 judges at cage side. Your first, Mike Murtha, scores the fight 30-26. David Torelli, 30-27. And Doug Crosby, 29-28. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision. Chris Sunshine Lencioni.
Chris Lencioni defeats AJ Agazarm.
That's what you do.
And Mike Beltran not impressed at all with the post-fight attitude of one of our combatants.
There you go. Let's go. All right, let's go.
What's up? Hey, you can talk all the shit in the world, but when it comes to the real time, you don't know what to do you? Stay social media, boy. You a little man, baby. Hello. Hey, right here, bud. I've been waiting 7 fights for you to...
Big John, help us out here, brother.
I'm calling you out, dog.
I've been waiting all this time to interview you, and we have to do it at distance now, so I apologize for that. But let's talk about this fight, because there was a lot going on in here. You guys had a lot of hatred going for each other, it seemed, at the beginning before the fight. And as the fight was going on, you were in a position, you received a headbutt. What was going through your mind at that time?
I've never been headbutted before in a fight. Dude, it changed the whole game. I was like in a totally different world. It got me right on the temple, which everybody knows is the money spot. And then after that, I was like, dang, where am I? Oh, wow, shit, he's on top of me. I mean, shoot, sorry, kids. I love my gym. I just want to say before I forget, with everything going on right now, environmental stress has never been higher. Everybody's in a different environment, right, because of this whole COVID. And a lot of good people I know have gotten a big C, and I want to give a shout out to them, Chad, Kathy, and there's a couple other people, I can't remember their names, but keep fighting that fight. We do this for you guys, we're entertainers. We're not politicians or any of that BS.
You have your own school up in Oregon, but you made a decision to go down to Huntington Beach and did your training in Huntington Beach at the Ultimate Training Center. What difference has that made in your fight?
That was the most professional camp I've ever been to, run by Tiki Gozin and Paul Herrera. I spent 3 weeks there. Every day I questioned myself, training with Brian Ortega, TJ Dillashaw, Cub Swanson, and Juan Archuleta. Juan Archuleta was the best. That's a world champion right there. I mean, he's gonna come in there and take that 35 belt, and then people understand I'm working with the best. So I'm in that level.
In this fight, especially in the 3rd round, you started to have that look like, oh, I've got you. You know, I know that I'm the one in control. What were you thinking? You were throwing some big elbow shots, got good positions off when he was trying to get you to the ground, and you always ended up in the top position. What was going through your mind?
He's just the most uncomfortably awkward fighter I've ever fought. It's like the best swordsman doesn't lose to the 2nd best, the 3rd best, or the 4th. He loses to the worst. Because while everybody else is in their stance, this guy's like throwing a sword out from his junk, and you're like, well, I've never seen that before, and I'm dead. And especially after the headbutt, there was a time where I was on the ground and he up-kicked me in the face, and I was like, oh, you know, that's another one. I mean, he really didn't land a single clean strike on me. I gave up my back on some stupid stuff, but reversed it, did a lot of damage. I'm just a brown belt, you know, whatever, I suck. right? But I defended everything he gave, and I ended the fight on top with a nice key lock. So a little bit more time, I would have got that.
Well, I would say that was an outstanding performance, a beautiful job of keeping your composure. Back to you, Goldie.
Thank you very much, Big John. Chris Lencioni, congratulations. I like how he corrected himself to keep it clean for his students. And Jay Glazer, I'll tell you what, obviously Chris and Chael know each other very well. I would like to see a battle of wits between those two guys. That would be a very interesting back and forth conversation, wouldn't it?
Well, Goldie, they know each other so well that when AJ was leaving the cage, he actually turned around and told Chael, well, I don't think he was saying you're number one, but he did hold a finger up.
Well, he held one finger up. It happened to be the middle one. I'm not sure how he got involved. Jay, by the way, I don't know who the star of that fight was. I mean, AJ did a great job. Lencioni did a great job. I'm not sure Mike Beltran, our referee, didn't have the hardest job. Listen, that thing got dirty fast. We saw headbutts, punches to the back of the head. We saw trash talk before, during, and after. We saw, as you said, I got called number one for reasons that I'm not sure about. Look, that was an incredible contest. Even AJ, who came in second, he showed heart. He never gave up once. He was fighting, but Lencioni did have the better, well-rounded skills, and I think he really showed that on the feet particularly.
By the way, the confusion on your face when he did that was priceless. I wish we had a Chael vision on you.
I don't know how I got involved.
Yeah, where'd this come to me? But you know what really impressed me about Chris is that, look, he got put really bad positions by AJ, and AJ was taking out so many other victims when he gets that dominant position, but not Chris. He just stayed so relaxed.
Chris likes to compete. I mean, he really does. He's loose out there, whether he's talking or having some fun. But Jay, it's very important to stay loose, because what that anxiety does is it creates a fatigue, and you simply get tired faster. If you can stay relaxed and stay calm, that's one of the great things that experience can bring.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and we just had a great prelim there with Valerie Loreda. We just had this fantastic prelim, and also coming up next, we have Adam Boric as well. It's a great night of prelims, and then our main card leads up to our main event. It is a rematch, 3.5 years in the making, right? We did the math coming down here. It is Michael Chandler and Benson Henderson. Michael Chandler, he has all the skills in the world. He won a split decision the first time around. What Michael Chandler will we see tonight?
Number one. AJ thought I was number one. Oh, back to the man. Okay, listen, what Chandler are you going to see? We always see a consistent Chandler. In all fairness, I mean, if anybody's consistent and brings his game, it is Michael Chandler, and he will surprise you. I will argue that is what happened against Benson in this first fight we're taking a look at. You have a two-time All-American wrestler in Michael Chandler. He didn't use his wrestling. He used that as a option B. He mixed it up with his hands. That's what the great wrestlers have to do. They have to surprise you. I think now that Benson has that, I think that favors at least a little bit Mr. Henderson.
That was a knockout of Sidney Outlaw on his left.
I don't have my glasses on, Glazer.
Yeah, you're still shaking up from the obviously the little with AJ over here. But what he also did, Joe, and you could certainly talk this, is he used the verbal game. He tried to use the verbal assault to get under the skin of Benson Henderson. It seemed like it worked.
I'll tell you what, Benson is upset for the first time ever. Benson is a known gentleman in this business. In and out of the cage, he's a nice guy. Mr. Nice Guy has left town. He is upset. He wants this rematch. There's a reason that Scott Coker looked at it and said, you know what? Let's see rounds 6, 7, and 8. Let's see what would happen if these guys learned each other and went a little bit longer. Look, Benson Henderson can do anything. He will fight you anywhere. He's a constant competitor. Jay, when he's not out there doing mixed martial arts, he's taking grappling tournaments all over the world. He wants to get better. He wants to go out there and perform. I really feel if he can beat this narrative that I don't fully agree with in the first place, that he's a slow starter, if he can overcome that, we're going to see a different fight.
A quick story here on Benson Henderson. We're at my gym training with Chael and Benson. They're rolling, and all of a sudden, he catches Chael in some kind of choke, tail chaps, and he comes up and he says, I have no idea what he just did to me.
Never seen it before.
He's so crafty. Yeah. But we don't see that enough in the cage from Benson. Love to start seeing more of that.
I agree with you there. He is very diverse. He has a very dynamic skill set. Sometimes he doesn't always use that. Now, he is wide open. This is not a guy that needs our criticism. This is a former world champion, but he is going into a contest with a competitor under the same rule set that we've seen before. So in all fairness, we do have to ask the question, Jay, what is going to be different this time?
Absolutely. Well, we have one more fight in the prelims. Adam Boric, Mike Campbell, and then that great main card with that last prelim coming up on the other side of this commercial break. Stick around, folks.
All summer long, Bellator MMA delivers the knockout blows.
This is unbelievable.
With big-time fights, live and free on Paramount Network.
Here we go.
World champions, top-ranked contenders, and rising stars.
Things are just beginning to heat up for Bellator MMA.
Bellator is back all summer long. on Paramount Network.
Wow. A maestro at work at David Benavidez. Get out the way. Ain't no time to play. Dominance by Benavidez. A bright future for this champion.
Undefeated champion David Benavidez clashes with Romer Angulo on Showtime.
Ryan Bader ran through the heavyweight Grand Prix and made history by knocking out Fedor Emelianenko. Now, August 21st, live and free on Paramount Network. Champ Ryan Bader will put his light heavyweight title on the line.
I'm the best I've ever been.
And it's all over!
But coming for his gold, Fedor's protege.
This guy's a beast.
Vadim Nemkov.
Good night.
Bellator MMA, live Friday, August 21st at 10 on Paramount Network. Their epic first fight had MMA fans screaming for a rematch.
Unbelievable.
Next, live and free on Paramount Network. The fight is finally here.
Let's do this!
I expect to get a knockout, so that's what I'm focused on.
MMA icon Benson Henderson looks for redemption.
Good night!
When he battles three-time lightweight champion Iron Michael Chandler.
I'm going to step into that cage and I'm going to finish him.
Bellator MMA, live next on Paramount Network.
And we will visit with Ryan Bader. He will talk about his fight in 2 weeks against Vadim Nemkov. We are live with our main card, top of the hour, on Paramount Network. Earlier, Master Valerie Loreda with an impressive finish. What a knockout at the end of the second round, Josh.
That was big. Big hands.
Absolutely amazing. You just saw her opponent crumble straight down. And John, you and I have talked about this. When opponents can't even put their elbows down to the mat to stop themselves from falling, that's when you know that it's getting close to being stopped.
Absolutely. That body position when she went down shows you how rocked she was.
She finishes, she remains unbeaten, and Valerie is backstage with our own Jen Brown.
Well, thanks. I'm here with Valerie Loreda, 3-0, keeping that undefeated record. When we were about to do this interview, she's jumping up and down. She's like, I'm so excited. You called it. You said you were going to catch her. You got her with the knockout. How did it feel to be able to deliver on that?
Honestly, today I proved a lot to myself. I was trying not to make it a reality, but since I haven't fought in a year and a little bit, since the Madison Square Garden and the reality show, I feel doubt. I felt that ring rust, but I was saying no because I didn't want to make it a reality. So today, I just proved a lot to myself. I was calm. I was patient. I'm proud of that performance, and I'm the hardest person on myself that there is.
Well, you did a fantastic job. I want to ask you, because I haven't had a chance to talk to any fighters right after they got out of the cage. You know, it's only your third fight, but you've been fighting in Taekwondo since you were practically a baby. And I have to assume, though, you've never fought with no crowd. What was that like? What was it like to be out there in the cage, to hear your opponent, to hear the corner, to hear your hits land, and to hear the announcers? What was that like?
Honestly, my dad is crazy, and since I was a baby, my dad has had me sparring like that every Wednesday night for 6 hours against boys. So going in here today, I felt exactly like if I was in my dad's school sparring on a Wednesday night with him screaming at me, coaching me, and I was used to it. I didn't feel any difference. You know, I perform under pressure under the lights, and I perform no fans like a sparring practice, and that's it.
It's nice having the fans, though, right, to have that energy. But
it's fun.
You said you wanted to come out here tonight and make a statement. You wanted to show what you can do, who you've become as a fighter. I think you did incredible with your performance. So what message, what do you want the world, the fans, to take away from what you did tonight, and what should they be thinking about Valerie Loreda?
I want the fans and other young women to know, don't let anybody tell you what you can and you can't be. You know, you could be beautiful, you could be girly, you could have your nails done and painted, which I chipped a nail. You could have your eyelashes on, you could wear your heels and tight dresses and go out at night, but as long as you spar hard in the morning, you know, you could be a professional fighter, and don't let anyone or any other woman tell you otherwise.
I think that's a great message. Hey, you can definitely deliver a knockout with eyelashes on.
Thank you.
Great job tonight. We look forward to your next performance inside the cage.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Valerie.
Thank you very much, Jen. Valerie, and she chipped a nail, but still walked away with a knockout victory. More will be seen from that young lady as time rolls on. Our last preliminary matchup from here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena, contracted at 150 pounds, Adam Boric, coming off the first defeat of any type in his combat career, taking on Mike Hamill, a true featherweight, fighting on 9 days' notice. Benson Henderson's main training partner for this camp, which is why he was ready to go. So it's 14-1 Boric against 7-3 Hamill.
Yeah, you could take a look at that weight. There was a catch weight put in because of the time frame of getting Mike Hamill here, but he still did not make that, and he has a big advantage with that 4 pounds.
Adam Boric, Mike Hamill, our final matchup here before we go live on Paramount Network. Top of the hour, Michael C. Williams with the official introduction.
Tonight here at Bellator 243, we conclude the prelims now at Mohegan Sun Arena with 3 5-minute rounds at a contract weight of 150 pounds. And now first introducing the blue corner at 5'9", weighing in 154.6 pounds. His professional record, 7 wins, 3 losses, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona by way of Green River, Wyoming, Magic Mike Hamill. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 150.2 pounds. As a professional, he's near perfect. 14 victories, just 1 defeat, hailing from Hungary and fighting out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the kid, Adam Boric. In charge of the action, referee Dan Bergliata.
Our referee, Adam Boric. Mike Hamill. Fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
All right, round 1. You ready? Let's go fight.
Here we go. Clock brought you by Geico. Boric in gloves. Hamill, the newcomer, in the blue gloves.
Right there before you move into that line.
Stepping in for Derek Campos. Hamill opened his professional career 5-0 and trains at the lab with what he says his coach is, the legendary John Crouch and Rob Emerson, now the striking coach at the lab in Glendale, Arizona, and they're going at it early, guys.
Hamill bringing a lot of pressure. He's eaten a couple of big straight right hands. He's delivered some of his own.
Mike Hamill said, and I quote, "I'm not dirty, I'm not cheap, I'm just mean. I'm going to be in your face, making you suffer the entire time." He wants to break his opponent with pressure. Boric now living full-time the last 2 years in South Florida at Sanford MMA with Henry Hooft and Company.
Yeah, the buzz around Sanford MMA, though, is that no one really likes to spar with him or train with him because he's so aggressive and he's so good in Adam Boric. I mean, they love training with him, but they don't like training with him, if you get what I'm saying. He's just technical. He does everything very well. He's good on the feet, good kicks. You see it there with the flying knees. Sometimes younger fighters, they don't understand that older fighters need to be careful of what's going on in the sparring.
And while Hamill spent all this time with Benson Henderson, Adam Boric spent a lot of time training with Michael Chandler. Chandler, who calls him the most underrated fighter in the featherweight division. Those two will meet in our main event of the evening, the rematch, live on Paramount Network.
This is pretty much, Hamill's a pretty good testament of who Boric's sparring with someone, with Michael Chandler.
Absolutely. He's very aggressive, good wrestling background, and you can see he's trying to utilize that wrestling to get this takedown and get position. He just cannot get where he wants to be with Boric. Boric has got the skill of using that cage as a balance point to keep him from being taken down completely. But he's almost got a cradle. Now he's almost at the cradle. Just lost it.
But we saw with Adam Boric, he got taken down several times by Aaron Pico, was able to still weather the storm and come out in the next round and land a nice knee.
Absolutely. That was what you would call a nice knee, because it was the end of the fight.
3 of his knockouts have started with the flying knee. Some have just concluded with the flying knee. Some have led to a grounded pound finish.
But this is what you want to see from Adam Boric. Continuously trying to get up, so that never gives Hamill an opportunity or chance to mount an offense other than just the takedown.
That was a nice job of using his arm to frame that head out, to keep Hamill extended. That's how Adam Boric got his way back to his feet. Trying to change the position. You wanted to go for a takedown on me, I'll do it to you.
Hamill last fought on February 15th. Our last Bellator card prior to 2 weeks ago was February 22nd. About the same type layoff, although, as I mentioned, taking this fight on short notice. But in shape, working with Benson and the crew every day.
Boric needs to be very careful of giving too much space and bringing himself closer and closer to the cage. That lateral movement, he wants to stay somewhere around, seeing that black line and that circle around the cage. You start getting away from that, you know you're getting too close to the cage, you need to move.
Beautiful, finish. Finish that. Lock it out, circle.
Two-time state champion in Arizona, wrestled at the University of Wyoming, and then became an All-American at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix. Mike Hamill, 7 career victories as a professional.
Well, the fact that Hamill took this fight on short notice, as this fight goes on, I think Boric's going to be okay with maybe potentially losing the first round. We're not okay with it, but it's something he understands. Like, hey, I'm giving up the weight. I went up in weight class, even though he's got a big body frame, but I think he'll be okay with giving up. He wants to keep pushing the pace and making Hamill work as the fight goes on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but it's also the fact that Hamill, who was supposed to make a contracted weight of 150, basically got to that point saying, I'm not going to try to lose any more weight. I'm not going to tax my body in that weight cut because I need to have energy and have the ability to stay with Boric. So he tried to gain an advantage by not making that weight.
And you got to remember, Boric normally fights at 145.
Exactly.
His opponent right now tonight is weighing 155, basically.
Break. On the back of the head, for those elbows, all right? Watch it.
Bellator MMA supports Merging Vets and Players, an organization that empowers combat veterans and former professional athletes in transition once the uniform comes off by hosting weekly workout and peer support sessions. For more information, how to become a member or to donate, visit vetsandplayers.org.
Okay, here's your water. You take a drink.
Our own Jay Glazer telling me earlier he's got some new sponsors and supporters, and Jay doing great things with the MVP program. And we are proud to support it here with the Bellator family.
Well, even in this time of COVID and everything, what they've done through the use of Zoom and keeping these guys going and keeping them together and doing workouts and doing just therapy sessions and talking together. Just an incredible job by Jay and the MVP entire team to keep these guys.
All right, second round, ready? Ready?
You know, in that moment where they know there's someone they can talk to.
Round number 2, Boric in the red, Hamill, the southpaw. He'll switch his stance. He is in the blue gloves. Oh, that was a direct hit.
Oh, direct was a good term.
You could hear it.
Yep. That right kick right across it. Oh, that's the sound as a referee that you hear and people go, I didn't see it. I didn't have to see it. I could hear it.
He's actually kind of lucky that it just went across the front, the whole waistline.
And actually pushed in instead of up or to the side. It does help, but when it's that hard and a kick from Boric that fashion, I think I'd be taking my time too.
Yeah, what you don't understand is how big Boric is for 145 pounder. I know he's fighting at 155 basically tonight, but I mean, he's still a very big 145 pounder.
You got up to 5 minutes to take your time and tell me how you feel.
That's the danger of the orthodox southpaw battle. Opening up with that inside leg kick, and 5 minutes Hamill can take to recover from that shot. Don't forget, next, when the Bellator cage closes, all bets will be off. We have the rematch, the first fight back in November of 2016. Hamill's teammate, Benson Henderson, against Boric's teammate, Michael Chandler. Our main event, live and free on Paramount Network.
All right. Remember, keep it up.
We start our first 4 great fights, top of the hour. Hamill's okay, and the battle continues.
Right kick there.
Whatever cardio Hamill had left, that might have affected it.
It could. You got to give him credit, man. He came right back. He's going to get back into the fight. Take a shot like that, you got to figure your opponent's standing there, sucking wind in and getting himself his heart rate down when he didn't have any problems. Nice straight right hand by Boric.
Set it up with a fake that little left hook.
Beautiful, nice high kick and then left hook over the top, both landing.
Like Hamill said, I'm not scared of getting hurt. I have 4 plates in my face. I've experienced 5 different surgeries. Getting hurt is part of the sport. Running out of gas is my fear.
That's every fighter's fear. That's a horrible position to be in when you're exhausted and you have someone standing across from you that's not. They can try to tear your head off.
Hamill firing right back. Boric trying to utilize a long reach, turning that shoulder over. Nice.
A little bit of funny footwork there as you're watching with Hamill as he comes in. He's switching his feet when he's in close, a little bit different.
Nice body kick by Boric as well. Boric's got to make sure he starts trying to focus on keeping his back off the fence.
That's what I was talking about earlier. You got that nice black circle, man. You got to utilize that as an indicator of range of where that cage wall is at.
There is the smooth one. Benson Henderson in the locker room watching his teammate Mike Hamill do battle.
It's almost the battle of Stanford MMA against the MMA lab here.
It certainly is.
These two, so.
It's Chandler Henderson before Chandler Henderson.
Move your head, Michael. Side side.
That's a tough task there, Hamill, with knee boards in the gym. He's a tall 145-pounder. You got to get up there.
Both guys, true featherweights.
Michael, take your head off line. Move your head.
What you're going to see from Adam Boric is just the technique and the relaxation, keeping his hand loyal to his chin. The thing that he does is very technical, so there's really no mistakes that he's looking to make. Nice body kick.
High guard. Come with the back leg up.
Boric grew up in a very small village in Hungary. And as I mentioned, he has lived in Florida now for over 2 years. Training with the likes of Michael Chandler and Gilbert Burns. Jason Jackson, who we saw a couple of weeks ago.
You're training at Stanford MMA. You're training with killers day in and day out. All of these guys are world-class fighters, and so that can only do one of 2 things. It's going to break you or it's going to make you better.
Spars a ton with Sean Soriano. Jared Gordon.
Fight. That was the thought. Come on, let's go.
Nice call by referee Margolata. He says that, you know what, the kick hit the thigh. Not saying that it did not touch the cup here that Hamill felt, but not enough of it touching where Margolata says, I'm going to stop the fight.
Oh, nice overhand right. He switched his stance and came back in with that overhand right.
Here comes that knee again. Go. Here's up, bounce. We got to go, Mike. Nice, Mike. Hey, settle down. Aim lower. Aiming high now.
Away from the cage. I don't want you there.
Oh, big shot landed.
That's the hardest shot of the fight. Let's go.
Whoever said that's the hardest shot of the fight is right. I'm pretty sure it came from the corner of Hamill.
That's Coach John Crouch.
Yes, it is. The legendary John Crouch, as Mike Hamill said. Flying knee coming from the other side.
Adam Boric kind of looking at him like, don't try to take my moves.
That's my move.
Nice combination, a nice finish with the kick. That's pure Dutch kickboxing. That's what Henry Hoof delivers at Stanford MMA.
The corner of Mike Hamill, John Crouch, Rob Emerson, and then on the other side, Henry Hoof, Greg Jones, and Tommy Barzini do a great job. Everybody's masked up. Everybody's ready for great fights tonight. Those will be the 2 groups in the corners of our main event later. Final seconds of round 2.
Nice. Good score, Mike.
John, how do you have that scored?
Well, right now, that round definitely goes to Boric. The question is the first round. With the takedowns and everything, the problem that Hamill had is he wasn't able to do anything with the takedowns other than to have a ride position. And the big shots were done by Boric. I would probably say that Boric is ahead both rounds.
John Crouch. It's 1-1 right now. Maybe 2-0 him.
There you go. And that's good coaching by John Crouch. That's what I love about him. He said it's 1-1, but it could be 2-0 him. Meaning, hey, you're doing good. I love what I'm seeing, but I need you to understand you've got to go after him even more. And I'm really impressed with the pace that Hamill has actually been able to hold.
Absolutely. Taking this fight on short notice against someone like Adam Boric who's pushing the pace and getting into it.
Look
Very impressive.
Look at it. That diaphragm's not even moving, man. He's in shape.
That's the kind of feeling you get from Benson Henderson as well.
Yep.
5 minutes remain.
Final round. Let's go, gentlemen.
I would probably have it 1-1, John. I would have it Hamill first round, and I would have Boric the second.
You can say that, but if you remember early in the first round, Boric hit Hamill with a combination, a huge right hand that shoved him back and had him hurt for a second. That's really the most important thing because the takedowns were timed, but there was no damage.
But there was a shot that Hamill hit Boric with also that looked like he made him go straight leg. It maybe didn't, but I'm saying that it kind of he lost his balance off of it. Judges could have seen
it that way.
The reality of it, as far as cardio is concerned, is that now we're looking at getting close to 4 minutes remaining. And so 9 days notice all of a sudden is less of a factor because Mike Hamill knows, all right, I'm going to be able to really let it go at some point here in the third and final round and not have to worry about being gassed out on the backside.
What a beautiful job. Talk to me about what you just saw Adam Boric pull off because Hamill was deep on that.
Yeah, so he got in deep on the takedown, and Boric was able to basically go reach around the crotch, lift him a little bit to hip into him more. So he lifted his butt and pushed his feet back so he could hip into him more so he wasn't pressed against the fence anymore. Nicely done. And then he reversed the tide and pushed his back to the fence.
Way more damage here than he is. That's perfect. Good, Michael. Good shot.
Hamill needs to work on getting off the fence, and you see Boric released there, but that was a nice little elbow he had before he released it.
That's what judges look for. When you have that position, you exit it with that strike, be it that elbow, be it the knee, or a punch. That catches the judge's eye.
It's a good showing for Mike Hamill on short notice against the kid who just recently lost in a combat battle for the first time in his life.
This is a really outstanding performance by Mike Hamill. Whether he wins this or not, he can be proud of the effort that he's put into this, and he's showing Rich Chow, the Bellator matchmaker, hey, I'm a guy you want to keep.
I got to tell you, I would love to see him fight again. The way he's fighting, the pace he's fighting at, these are the kind of fighters you want to see fight in the cage.
Absolutely. And we know Benson Henderson's cardio is always outstanding, as is Michael Chandler's. And you can see the Hamill helped to push him a little bit. Or the other way around.
I gotta say, on a short notice fight like this, for him to fight at a pace like this against someone who's been training for an opponent the whole time, it says a lot about, hey, he's always ready to fight. I mean, sure, you want to talk about nice knee. It was a beautiful knee.
Sorry.
No, it was a nice knee.
Beautiful frame by Boric. Nice inside elbow.
Couple of very good strikes there. Big John McNee, and then he pushed away and got that elbow to land on the chin of his opponent.
Yeah, these are the differences in the rounds that you're seeing. Boric is the one that's landing those shots that have the more effect on his opponent. It's a tight fight, and Mike Hamill, I've said it, I thought he's fought beautifully throughout this. He's put a lot of pressure, man. He's stepped on the gas. He's just been incredible. It's just that he's ended up on the receiving end of the bigger blows. Nice.
Right there. Yep. Nice little up jab, up left hook.
Oh! Almost both jumped at the same time.
Let's see if Hamill can do something from this side control.
120 to go, Mike.
120, as you heard from the corner.
Many times guys with wrestling backgrounds don't like side control. They feel that they have less control, less ability to do damage, and they'll almost step into that half guard.
He's working on that side choke, it looks like. He's got that head-arm position. But let's recall, Adam Boric's first loss was by submission. He got to the position, got a little bit too relaxed, and you see here Hamill working for that position. Now he's on the back. This is where Boric got caught.
By a national wrestling champion from NC State named Darian Caldwell, the former bantamweight champ.
Big difference. Adam Boric at least has learned, I need to control those hands. That's what he did not do against Darian Caldwell. That's how he got caught. Look what he's doing right here.
30 seconds remain.
Come on, everything you got, kid, everything you got. This is all right.
This has turned out to be a great fight.
20 seconds, Michael. 1 mile. Hands up.
Final sprint to the finish.
Clip there a little bit, Adam Boric did.
Yeah, more off balance, but it's an incredible performance by both guys. We're really impressed with how much Hamill was able to step on the gas.
They go the distance.
Great fight.
Really,
absolutely
really good one. Entertaining, outstanding job.
Well done, Mike Hamill. Welcome to the Bellator cage. Adam Boric finished his last 6 wins. Has he earned the decision here?
And you can see what I'm talking about when I'm saying that Mike Hamill ended up eating the bigger shots. Take a look at both fighters, and sometimes you can't go with that, but you can see Hamill's wearing some of that damage on his face. It's got some swelling, he's marked up. And you take a look at Adam Boric, who took some shots, but there's just no marking, no swelling. That was just the difference, the bigger shots.
Says a lot about Adam Boric, though, about taking this fight on 9 days' notice and going up in weight to fight someone like this, who's someone you probably relatively have never known.
It was the combinations when Boric would throw. Look at that beautiful right back up with a kick. Beautiful 2-punch combination, and always followed it up with the kick, hiding the kick behind his hands. This was in the 3rd round at the end there. That's how they both started to go for that flying position, and that's what ended up putting Boric on his back. Hamill always going after him, working for the takedowns. Boric went inside once he would change the position. Nice knees inside. He would throw. Look at the framing of that head, pushing the head out, bringing the knee up. That's just outstanding fighting. Beautiful job by Adam Boric. He's so smooth in what he does, technically good. He's only going to get better.
He was very hard on himself after his loss, because he had never lost before. Kickboxing, MMA, he had never lost in his combat career. So it was a lot for him. I started looking into some of his Instagram stuff, and he was saying thank you to all the fans and how he was disappointed in himself and it would never happen again. You can't say it'll never happen again, but I'd like to see fighters be hard on themselves in situations like that, and he did.
Well, it shows how much he cares, and he's always talked about wanting to be the champion. There's only one way to be the champion. That's to step forward and to take that step that you're going to put yourself in a position where someone can beat you. He got beat.
Well, there's so much
Learn from it, you're going to be better.
There's so much hype behind him going into that tournament, and then he came up short on getting bumped out. But there's still hype around him because he's so young.
Absolutely.
And so I'm glad that he's putting the pressure on himself. He's got a long ways to go in terms of he's so young. I'm ready to see him make that next step. This was a huge step for him to take a fight against somebody that is relatively unknown, no one he has never heard of, and he did it and going up in weight.
He's 27. He hasn't even reached his athletic peak. Come on.
And let's not forget, guys, he won in the first round of the Featherweight World Grand Prix against the former world champion in Pat Curran.
You're absolutely right, Mike, and that shows how good he is.
Absolutely. Scorecards have been handed to Michael C. Williams. Here's the voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to the scorecards. Your first judge, Brian Miner, scores at 29-28. He sees the fight for Boric. Your second judge, Peter Rogers, scores the fight 29-28. He sees it for Hamill. Your third and final judge at cage side, Dave Peabody, scores the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision, the kid, Adam Boric.
Split decision victory for Adam Boric. I would say, guys, both men made some major statements tonight.
I think both guys are walking out of that cage winners tonight because Mike Hamill came in and put on a performance against an outstanding fighter. He proved that he belongs, and I think you're going to be seeing Mike Hamill with a Bellator contract.
Mike Hamill, a training partner of Benson Henderson. Adam Boric, a training partner of Michael Chandler. They will meet live tonight on Paramount Network in our main event of the evening. Here is Jen Brown with the smooth one.
All right, thanks. I'm here with Benson Henderson, who is set to rematch Michael Chandler later on Paramount in our main event. All right, Benson, I know you said you went back and you watched the tape on that last fight. You studied it. What was some of your biggest takeaways?
I need to do better. I need to do better. I need to be better. I need to perform better than that. All said and done, that's it.
Well, this is going to be a 3-round fight. Your last fight was 5. You said yourself you're naturally a slow starter, but you told us that the key was putting on that pressure in that first round. You know Chandler's going to be coming out, so how do you apply that pressure?
Not give him any breaks. He has good pressure, then he bounces around for about a good 10, 15, 20 seconds, so kind of recovers and he has pressure again. When he bounces around, I got to go get him. I can't get him those 15, 20 seconds to bounce around and recover. I got to push the pace the entire 5 minutes for that first round.
He says that he actually thinks this fight's going to go the distance. How do you see it ending?
I want the stoppage. I want to knock out on the submission. I want my hand raised, leaving that octagon, leaving that cage.
All right, well, we look forward to you. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Benson.
One of the best fight IQs in the business right there, Benson Henderson. He runs it back with Michael Chandler. I'm looking forward to this one, man. We normally don't see an angry Benson Henderson or somebody who, Michael Chandler got under his skin. He's usually so smooth.
Yeah, Jay, what you and I do is we largely analyze approach. I mean, whatever's going to happen is between the boys in the cage later. But if you do listen to what Benson Henderson just said, boy, that's the perfect approach. When he talks about Michael Chandler, brings in energy, but then recaptures his breath, and he needs to go after him in those 15 to 20 seconds. He's spot on. And also, please notice, when Benson Henderson is talking about wanting the finish, if we are living by the narrative that he is a slow starter, but he's looking for the finish, that could solve his problem.
All right, that is our main event of the evening. The main card coming up in about 15, 16 minutes from now over on Paramount Network. Again, Michael Chandler, Benson Henderson, they run it back 3.5 years later. Matt Mitrione, Tim Johnson coming off a big knockout victory at Tyrell Fortune. And Miles Jury, Georgie Karahanyan. Great card tonight.
Their epic first fight had MMA fans screaming for a rematch.
Unbelievable.
Next, live and free on Paramount Network. The fight is finally here.
Let's do this!
I expect to get a knockout, so that's what I'm focused on.
MMA icon Benson Henderson looks for redemption.
Good night!
When he battles 3-time lightweight champion Iron Michael Chandler.
I'm going to step into that cage and I'm going to finish him.
Bellator MMA, live next on Paramount Network.